glad you're here. Grab a cold one, maybe a beer. Stay alert in the chat. Giveaway prizes. Heck, maybe we'll give away Uncle Bill's cowboy hat. Jim's his sidekick, wouldn't you know? Uncle Extra Medium in the show. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let's all be part of hashtag Uncle Bill's Tribe. Hashtag Uncle Bill's Tribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, and all the ships at sea, welcome to Uncle Bill's Saturday night Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
All our
Paul Murray.
yeah, with all what is it? What'd you say?
Nothing. Paul Murray calls his thing
The
that.
Zoom meeting now. Yeah.
I think you were I think Lon, you were the first person to call it that actually.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Where we all check in and talk about things, all things drone related. No, we don't. Well, sometimes we do. So we talk about drones sometimes. Yeah, we do sometimes. Lon does. That's you know, Lon does talk about it sometimes. I talk about it sometimes. And other things, you know, it doesn't have to be about drones. It could be about your personal lives. It could be what's going on. It could be about the Philippines, endlessly, the Philippines without end.
Yeah.
I don't know who would do that, but there's someone here.
What are the Philippines? I never heard of them.
Yeah. The Philippines. Or, and, you know, just say hi to all our friends out there that just have hobbies they want to talk about. Doesn't have to be drones. It could be motorcycles. I like them. You know, Lon likes them.
Stamp collecting.
You know, we got boats. I like them.
Coins.
Who
Money.
doesn't like a boat? Porn. Could be porn. Everybody likes porn.
Porn.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a big porn habit.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
You get all hard up over porn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall us talking too much about porn. I don't think that we have any porn experts in here.
No.
Art.
No.
So anyway, so let's say hi to everybody. Let's say hi to the because people are coming in slowly. I can tell.
No, I did.
Yes,
After last week's debacle, that stream, I watched it later. It was just awful. I wouldn't have watched it either. It was my voice was following behind me and breaking up and blah blah. It was
Hi, everybody.
I've done streams from my phone before. I never had that much trouble, and nobody told me. Nobody told me. They just let me look stupid, which is, you know, let you
You
guys.
sound great.
Huh? What?
You sound great.
I sound great. Oh, so in other words, I sound terrible. Bastard. Wait a minute. Look who it is.
Right.
Hey, Blondie.
Here we go.
Hello.
No, she's got her Apple AirPods on.
No, I don't think I'm gonna put
AirPod
them
Maxes.
If I,
Oh, you're not
if I
gonna put them on?
If I put them on, I might lose you when I take them off. I don't know.
You take them off, and you'll never lose Lon.
Yeah, baby. Take it off. Take it off.
Wise guy, eh? Up
Ah,
and there.
oh, she's
There
gone.
she goes.
And she's gone. There she
Hit
goes.
wrong button again.
Breezing in and out of our lives like
Well, she took her AirPods off.
a whisper. That'll do it. That'll knock you right off.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a great trip last weekend, as some of you know. Okay, Alexis and Jeff, here we go. She's back.
back.
Hey!
Hey, we're back. Here we going.
Hey.
I bumped something on the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the real star of the show.
Hey,
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Something.
how you doing? How's your vacation going?
Uncle Bill said, "How's maybe at the TV?" He said, "How's your vacation going?"
Vacation.
It was a joke.
We don't need any beeps.
There is
Just
I'm
kidding.
setting the bed telemetry off by leaning on the bed.
All right. Okay. All right.
He's
You're
just
doing good.
he's just finishing his dinner.
And you did chemo yesterday. You were saying?
Yeah, I did
Yep.
chemo. Had absolutely no side effects from it. Which was
Oh, that's
All
good.
right,
yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Working my way over here. I've got to
Right.
work around the cables, but here's
Right.
the meter. See if we can. Can I
All
flip the camera on this thing? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah, you gotta choose another camera. Go in the settings usually. Oh, there she
There you
went.
Ah,
go.
I've lost her again.
You
Oops.
she flipped
That'll
out.
do it.
She flipped it off.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And she's back.
Hey now, Shane.
Turn this around. Hold on.
You have to go into your settings.
Oh,
Coming
nice
and going.
day.
Under video.
nice.
Oh,
Under
yeah.
video. Settings, video, mirror, camera.
Yeah, it's either that or.
Oh, she
change
wanted to use
camera.
the other camera. You just pick a
Yeah,
different
you
camera.
go camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3, depending on
Yeah,
your
that's
phone,
all.
of course.
Yeah. 3 cameras. You got 3 on?
I get 3 when I use my phone.
Do you?
Give me
Good
3
deal, huh?
options.
Wonder how many I got. Look, what are you showing us here, Alexis?
Do what?
Do what? What you showing us?
I was just showing you the view out the window. We're 22
Awesome,
floors.
yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
22. I'm afraid to touch anything. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Yeah, I'm afraid of touching anything too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
What?
What? What?
Let's see.
Okay.
What?
Anyway, so we
What's
can just
that
say hello to
about?
Alexis. Let's say hi to Art. How was your day, Art?
I'm doing good. Worked all day today. Well, worked 5.5 hours and
Woof.
came home and
Ooh.
just relaxed.
That's a
and,
little more than half a shift.
Yeah,
Woo.
Yeah.
got a lot done.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Days never finished. Master got me working. Someday Master set me free.
I had a short day today. I
Anyway.
only worked 8 hours. I feel very good about that. Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah. It's a short day. Saturday's usually 10. But yeah.
Wow.
And I managed to fix the sound system in Sticks. You guys are familiar with Sticks.
Ooh, yeah.
You've been there. Some of you have been there. All
Yes.
but
Yeah, they
Dominic.
play pool there, right?
Yeah.
Except
Well, the
that-
speakers over the pool tables weren't working, and I figured it
Oh.
out. So, yeah.
Mhm.
The speakers are not
Huzzah.
working on the patio. I got to get that fixed before
Oh.
next April. So, Lloyd, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just kind of lazy day today. Been
Today.
Raining and
Yeah,
thunder,
like that's
yeah.
new. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I'm doing some 3D printing. I'm printing off a new sword that I'm making. So, got the last 2 pieces cooking right now. So,
Sweet.
and then hopefully get that together. But yeah, just not doing anything. Watched a lot of YouTube today. I was up early this morning, but yeah, I'm just kind of chilling today. Well, it's either raining or it's too humid to go out right now anyway. So I figure I'll stay inside. So
Yeah.
That's cool. I guess you could actually print weapons, like a bread knife.
yeah,
I mean, a plastic bread knife would cut bread.
Mhm.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
there's
You know,
2 parts of the
or,
blade that I'm printing right now.
Ah,
I was thinking
I got-
about I was going to print sporks and sell them. I'll make my fortune that way. What was it?
There you go. But yeah,
What was that now? What is that?
that's the blade. That's
Oh.
that's the front end of the blade. Last 2 pieces of blade are right now being printed, and I have the hilts over here. So, but it's an elven blade.
oh,
Okay. All right.
okay, cool.
So
So
this guy does a lot of good work. He's the one that did the. He's the one who designed the Gandalf staff too. So
okay.
his patterns are pretty easy to put together. So
That's cool. I bet you gets all the chicks with that. Dominic,
Yeah.
so how are you?
Yeah, it's Sunday morning here. It's the weather's actually nice.
Nobody
Mhm.
asked.
It should be shocking, but it's nice. Strangely nice.
Yeah, it's been hot as hell in Florida and humid as hell. I don't know. It's been like the hottest May I can remember.
Wow.
Yeah, it's at 97 the one day I think it got up to. It's like,
Whoa, that is hot.
yeah,
I
no,
feel
I
it.
don't know. I don't
Yeah.
understand, man.
Yeah.
It's too hot, baby.
And then when it comes down a little, and you can still cut the air with a printed knife.
Yeah.
And Lon, how are you? And look who it is. It's been a minute. Haven't seen. It's been so long. I can't
Reginald.
remember his name.
Reginald.
Reginald.
Yeah.
Oh,
Reg-
Reginald, my name is Reginald. Oh,
Oh,
Reginald is in the house.
He does seem posh to me.
Yes, I'm very posh. Reginald
That should be
in the house
Caution
and ready to rock, baby. Ho
Reginald Paschenmeister. And
Well.
let's say, Art, we used to do this. Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's
We
say
got
hi to the kids in the audience.
We got
Oh.
Philip Koshat in the house and Ray Kelly, Captain Ray,
Yeah, Captain Bearded Ray.
Warren, the Cure Show, and Brian, Waypoint, New England. And who else do we?
Way back.
We got
Again.
New Drone, all the way from Mexico. Or is it? Where he's somewhere down south of Texas. Anyway, hola. And we got Mudball Don, and then we got Steve Janess. Welcome. And we got Lloyd, and then we got Dominic, and that's it. Yeah.
You forgot Sam.
Yep, Sam just jumped in. Itchy Sad. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, we came very close to finding out what Akira show looks like, Akira show.
Yeah.
Yeah. How should we say that? Akira show? I always said Akira
I
show.
call
I
it
think it's a
Akira
Kira show.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because he says he was within 30 miles of me or something.
Right.
You know, I didn't smell anything funny, so I don't know. But,
We got Bent Rail in the chat,
Okay.
which is Dominic,
Gary.
Gary. And then we have Steve Knowles, the other Steve.
okay. Good. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Again, apologize for the crappy stream last week, but here we are with another.
We made it.
I forgive you.
No, all right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not that this stream will be any better, but the quality will be a little better. You know. And so, Alexis, why don't you want to fill us in on the latest happenings and goings on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to put the headphones on, but they didn't connect. So.
Well, that part we saw.
Well, he's got his TV on. I don't know if y'all can hear it. I don't want you to get a copyright strike if a commercial or some music.
Can't hear anything.
Not
Can't hear it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, are we live now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been live.
Yeah, we're very
Yeah.
much live. Yeah.
Quite live, my lady. Oh.
Well, I
Well,
thought
closest
maybe
thing to it, anyway.
I needed Chrome, so I downloaded Chrome the last time I lost connection with you. And then it said, nope, we don't use Chrome. You have to go to Safari. And I was like, okay, that was a waste of time.
Who said that?
So the
Apple products.
Restream wouldn't work on Chrome on my iPad.
Oh.
Oh,
It said I had to-
interesting.
Very strange.
That
Oh.
is strange. I restream with Chrome on my phone. Yeah, it worked out
Yeah,
well,
on
didn't it?
the iPad Pro.
We're not an Apple product.
I'm using Chrome right now. Matter of
Yeah.
fact.
Same here.
Me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Same here.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
work with Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must be.
Can you put
Uh-oh.
Netscape on there?
Netscape.
Opera?
Netscape.
I bet you Opera would Opera's cross-platform. That would work.
When they're done with that, download Hey Jeeves.
Yeah.
Hey
Or
Jeeves.
web crawler.
Web crawler. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we've lost her
On
again.
again.
Yeah, web crawler is
Just leave her alone and let her be on like she is.
Yeah.
I didn't ask her to actually do anything.
I
There
know.
she is.
There she is.
And we're back.
Maybe. Oh
Her
no.
camera's still
Quite a
dark.
tan there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, the power go out?
Straight out of Zimbabwe. His assistant name Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
She'll figure it out, or not. And Captain Ray, we have been praying for Jeff. Captain Ray's been praying for you, Alexis.
Yep.
We all have.
Yeah. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ray. We'll see about Reginald next year, but I doubt it.
The singing cat.
Reginald, he's a. That's the reason. Cat. Oh,
It's a cat. It's a Persian
Cats
cat.
have horns. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a Persian cat.
Horny
Yeah.
cat.
Horny cat.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
like
I'm
tricks.
Devil.
somewhat
Devil.
randy.
It's a devil cat. It's an evil.
Yeah. Meow. Meow.
Oh,
All right, we're going to try it again.
and
There
away
it
we
is.
go.
There we go.
And
Oh.
away we go.
There
Oh, there she
we go.
is. Woo.
Hello, Brenda.
Okay.
Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Welcome,
you.
Hey,
welcome.
Brenda.
That's
you,
Alexis.
Kelly, for the prayers. We appreciate everyone's prayers.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I think I'm sideways again. I don't know what this thing's doing.
There you go.
You're
There
good.
you
You're
go.
good. And don't worry about it. We
There.
can hear you. So
We can hear you. You're great. Wow.
All right, so yesterday was chemo, 2 different bags of different chemicals, whatever, and 2 different drugs, and he had no side effects whatsoever.
Good.
Today, he's just been really positive and says he feels like God is healing him. And I said, well, what are you feeling? And he said, it's like an electric energy inside of his body. And I was like, well, you claim it, you hold on to it, you don't let that go.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see, was it yesterday or day before when they took you to IR? Jeff? Yesterday. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are aware of this. I guess just the ones I'm texting, but so Bill, you probably know this, and Ray Kelly knows it. They sent a team of 4 people in, a doctor and 3 of his assistants, to put pressure on where they made the incision in the groin area. It's kind of like where the leg joins into the groin. They make it's in cardiac cath lab, right? He had to be transferred over to another hospital because they don't do heart stents here. Anyway, they did that. Well, after he got back, he had a little it's like an aneurysm, but it's not like a
Blood clot.
No, it's not a blood clot. It's like a little aneurysm in the groin where they cut into the vein. So they were putting pressure on it. Each person was taking like 2 minutes to put pressure on this area. It's
right.
really hard
Weakening in the walls of the artery.
Yeah, and so it helped, but it didn't fix it. So yesterday he had to go to IR, which stands for interventional radiology. It's guided by ultrasound. They go in with a needle, and they fix the wall of that artery. And so there's a gentleman that came by today to check on him, and it's perfect. Jeff had no pain he had a little pain during the procedure, but he was awake for the whole thing. They put a little lidocaine to numb it up. But after that, he had no pain, no complications, so that went perfect. So the next thing to do will be what they call a venting G-tube. And a venting G-tube goes on the side of your abdomen into the stomach, and it allows gas that builds up in the stomach to be released. It's kind of like when you pass gas, when you do that, and also it's not a feeding tube though. It's not like a G tube, like a gastric tube. It's not that. It's basically for venting. That's why they call it a venting G tube. And then he does have some opening in the duodenal area, which is the area that the stomach empties into the small intestine. But he is having bowel movements, which totally baffled them because they said it was 100% blocked, and it's not. So that's why he's able to eat, but he's not. He's on a clear liquid diet, but he is having bowel movements. That's a great achievement.
Oh, that's good.
We're hoping and praying that instead of just a little bit of opening, it goes wide open, and just that he's able to eat more solid foods as time passes. We're hoping to get released to go home after the venting G tube is put in, probably around Tuesday, I guess, after the holiday. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't got a solid date on that, but there's a Dr. Shin here who's an oncologist, and he said that he's expecting that we'll get released to go home around the 1st of June, and then we'll travel back here every 2 weeks for another round of chemo. And the reason they're doing that, of course, is to shrink the tumor that is pushing against the stomach that's occluding that duodenal area. And so they're hoping that chemo shrinks it so that he can begin to eat better food. So in the meantime, he's on what they call TPN, which is a nutritional supplement that goes on his IV pole. And we'll have to take all that home. So all the dogs are going to have to get moved outside or into another room because we can't have 5 dogs or any dogs running around with IV lines running around. And then a week ago today, we lost one of our cats. I was home and
Yeah.
and I'm so bummed about that still today. It's been a very emotional day for me. I mean, just because of the cat and everything that's going on. You know, it's just been kind of draining. So I really thank God for every one of you. Thank you for your prayers. Some of you I don't know, of course, but I really do appreciate your prayers and your good wishes and thoughts for Jeff and myself. But I'm totally focused on him. And this is where I sleep, right here. On this nice, I don't want to tilt this, it'll probably go wacky again, but it's like a sofa, but it pulls out to this almost to the size of a twin bed. So I'm here all night with him. So when he gets interrupted, I get interrupted. But if he needs help, I'm right here for him. I was going to go back today because I was going to do some banking stuff on Monday, and then it dawned on me, wait a minute, this is I'll get the banking stuff done on Tuesday. So I don't know if I'm leaving tomorrow or maybe Monday. I don't know. I'm trying to give the people that are watching our animals a break too. And I've got one last thing I need to do with bank, which I've chatted with Lloyd about. But thank you everybody for being there. I don't want to hog up the show with all this, but that's what's going on in our world. And we love you all. Thank you. Because it's like I need family, and you all are my family.
Well,
No, you know, you're in our prayers.
you are. Yeah.
You are.
We got nurses coming in.
My name is Candy. I'm going to be your nurse tonight. How are you doing, sir?
Candy the nurse.
They're having a shift change at 7 o'clock. So this is, they just got out of report.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her name's Candy.
Candy. Great name for a nurse.
Last name Striper.
I was thinking the same thing.
I like candy.
I wonder how many times a day she hears that.
They can hear you.
Oh, they can hear us? Oh, great. Okay.
I
Bill
want
said it.
candy.
Bill said it.
Candy. I said it's my fault. It's my stream. It's all my fault.
Yep.
Everything that happens in here is my fault.
Good bit of honey here.
Candy-o, I need you so.
You so candy.
Any other
Yeah,
songs?
the Cars.
Anything?
The Cars.
Anything
Yep.
else with candy in it? Yeah, the Cars. Yeah.
Yep.
Candy-o. I can't believe that was the name of the album. Is that the name of the album?
Hello, Brenda.
Probably.
Can't remember.
Well, the first album was just named The Cars, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
Let the good times
Didn't they-
roll on.
let's goggle
Didn't
it.
they reform from the band called Motorcycles?
Maybe now. Can you hear me?
No.
They got
yeah.
two more.
Yeah,
got two more
there was
people.
2 bands named Motorcycle, and they got together.
Got together,
What was
made
named Scooter,
cars, yeah.
and what
Four-wheels,
was named Motorcycle.
Yeah,
Scooter.
yeah.
That was a good one,
And
Lloyd.
Web lost it.
They say rollers. Yeah. There you
Yeah.
Yeah.
go. Mm.
Of course, the Motorcycles, they were part of the original group that was called the Bicycles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then he got motorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and before that, they were the unicycles.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Part
correct.
of them split off and became the Tricycles, too.
Candy-o
Yeah.
is the second studio album by American new wave band The Cars.
Oh,
Released
okay.
June 2nd, 1979. Well, that's about when I graduated high school.
Yep. Same here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. And yes, I know
That's
they didn't
Barry
do that
Newman.
song, but I know. It's just kind of funny.
It's also got Let's Go on it.
My eyes are not
Go.
burning. Oh, okay.
Oh. Now that Alexis, that was in reference to a pre-show. That was a pre-show comment.
Pre-show,
Yeah,
pre-show.
Art was running around topless.
No, Bill was.
Bill was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Boy, he's got a hairy back.
Yeah. Sort of like. Well, he looks an awful lot like Reginald.
Yep.
About the same color tone too. Yeah, like that right there. Yeah, that's. Yeah, Alexis, that was in reference to Bill. That wasn't it.
Yeah, I heard what Art said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting it ready, and these guys jumped right in, and Art's jealous of my very fine back hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You wish you had back hair like my back.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of hair in general.
Bikini wax that.
Oh yeah. How much money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's discuss back hair.
Oh no, let's not.
What's the
No.
purpose of back hair?
No. The
Well, we
purpose.
are evolved from the primate species.
Oh.
We know they're pretty hairy.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you
Pretty
sure?
hairy.
Really,
Yeah.
Darwin?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are
Like
you
an-
sure
that-
that we came from primates? Are you absolutely?
Yeah.
I thought you were a creationist, buddy.
Yeah.
If you're a creationist, then you don't believe that. Butter. Butter. If you're a creationist.
Yeah.
Butter.
Did we come from the apes? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
Butter.
Thank you, Brenda.
Where's all the
Maybe
images? There's no links. They're still missing.
Mhm.
I like Lancelot link. Secret chimp. You guys
We
remember
murdered them
Oh,
all.
yeah.
That's what happened to him.
Okay?
Lancelot?
Wow.
You don't think
No.
you don't think they gave him that last name on purpose?
Yeah, Lancelot Link. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Because they talk, fancy, be kind of in between. Yeah.
Now, that's an interesting discussion. Now, unfortunately, I've heard that line of reason used before. Well, where are all the in-between links? Okay. Where are all the in-between links between a modern salmon and a prehistoric fish? You see them?
Some people don't believe in evolution.
No, my point is you don't see all the links between a prehistoric fish and a modern salmon, do you? Can you trace all those links? No. So why do you expect there to be a link between?
Well, no, but that's the argument. That's the argument against evolution. Is there are no links to salmon or
because they die. It's called selection. It's called natural selection.
There should be some remnant left behind.
There used to be old there is. They find fossils all the time of ancient humans. What are you talking about?
Not of the links in between. Never mind. I don't want to get into this discussion.
They have found several.
I really don't. Because what you just said was actually an argument for creationism. That there's no in between salmons. There's no in between anything.
Well, horses. They found fossils of ancient horses. They're about the size of dogs, and now the horses are huge. Where's all the links between that dog-sized horse and a modern horse?
It was a Shetland pony.
Well, they died. They died. They're gone.
Indians ate them all.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. It's an interesting discussion.
No, they don't. All the ancient creatures died, and we have evidence of them through fossil records.
Right.
We don't have any fossil records of it. Just never mind. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we do though. We don't have all the ones that you expect there to be, maybe, but there certainly are fossil records. There are records of ancient humans.
You know, there's
Neanderthals
but there's a big difference between developing from a
monkey,
a fish, because that's actually what we were originally. We were
amphibians.
You know,
we crawled up on the shore and became.
The big difference between that and a small horse and a large horse. You know, they just got.
Well, no,
the bigger ones survived because they were fucking faster. It's like the Indians were hungry and they couldn't keep up with the fast ones. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying that it's an interesting discussion. I could go on either side of it. I'm just saying that from the opposite side of that.
I'm not saying there's no evolution. I said that people. That's the thought. I didn't say I didn't believe in evolution.
Oh.
I didn't have to say
Okay.
that. I'm not defending it. I'm not defending either way because I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah. You sure? Lloyd was. Lloyd, what happened?
Yeah, he was there.
He's the first day in account.
Yeah. Mhm.
Noah put every single one of them critters on board.
Yep.
But then after the flood, there wasn't that nice layer of humidity up there that was keeping them all warm and cozy. And the ones without, they all froze to death. That's what happened,
Mhm.
And the only ones left are the ones we got now.
Huh?
At least that's what he
Okay.
told me. I don't know. I may
Yeah.
be,
Well, he told you that in confidence, Lloyd.
I know. I probably shouldn't have let that. Yeah, I probably
There
shouldn't
are
have.
evidence that there really was a massive flood that wiped out a lot of the.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah.
The Younger Dryas period. There's every culture basically has a flood story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Potentially, but some people argue that that's just they're just copying because the origins. No, hold on. The origins of the what do they call it? The Judeo-Christian faith come from that region of the Nile where there's constant flooding and etc. And it feels like it's the whole world to you when your entire world is just that area.
Well,
I mean-
there's a lot of evidence that there was. I mean, just to
There's a lot of evidence that there was a huge
paleo-
flood, a mass
logical-
extinction event.
Yeah.
And
Oh, there was a mass extinction event. I agree with that 100%.
And that's probably what happened to.
Yeah.
You can, there's two sides of that. You can argue that the Noah story is true within the confines as we know it, but what created that, So you have this major, because at the time, everything was more like tropical. And then you have this major meteorite or comet or whatever hit and go through that, busting out and allowing the cold of space to come in. It also wiped out all of the current animals and raised the floodwaters. And
I don't know if it left the coldest space in, but it did.
No,
Well,
it
It blocked out the sun.
They blocked out
the meteor. Yeah, the meteorite crashed and created that. And there's the creationist evolution has the idea that once all of the water that surrounded the Earth was punctured by, say, a meteor, which there's evidence of that happened. I don't know about the puncture part, but that there was one that was devastating to all living beings, and that's what allowed the coldest space to come in.
Yeah, hit the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America.
Yeah, Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Well,
and it
there's
killed the
one in Arizona
dinosaurs.
too. There's a big one in Arizona.
Yep.
There's been big ones all over the planet.
Beautiful dinosaurs, and they're all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Then came the blizzard of '78. Yeah.
Yeah.
The blizzard of 78.
No tax on tips.
No, it
No
is
tax
what
on
it is.
tits.
Yeah, tips.
Yeah,
tips.
all right. No more taxes on strip
Yeah.
joints. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alexis is happy to hear about that. No more taxes on tits. Woo.
That's awesome.
that'd be a rather large expense.
Oh, I thought I was the deaf one.
Oh, that's a meme. That's a meme. We gotta put that together.
I hope they have a no tax on dicks.
Strip club refusing to pay their taxes because there's no tax on tits. I love it. That's beautiful. No tax on tips. It made it through the first go.
To some extent that could be true because you think aren't the dollar bills that you stuff in their G-string, isn't that considered a tip rather than a salary?
Yes, absolutely.
So they will not be getting taxed on that now.
It's either a tip or a promissory note.
Yeah.
Well,
Good point.
No. Strippers work strictly on tips. They get no pay. In fact, they have to pay the strip bar to be able to perform there.
Yeah.
Right, Alexis?
That's a house fee.
Cold doesn't move into warm. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was because of a layer of silt went around the world.
Yeah,
and
silt
blocked out
went around
sun.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah, went around the world. Yeah.
And who's to say?
Regardless.
who's to say it wasn't God that went boom with that?
Yep.
You know, he could have been the guy that did the Big Bang. You know,
Yep.
Yeah, 65 million years ago.
he's pretty old.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always thought
Is
if
that
people wanted to
before you know that?
scientifically prove God, that the entire universe is is actually the mind of God. That it's
Yeah.
that we are just a part of it,
I
and
thought part.
it's all
Yeah.
interconnected. Yeah, and he's not. It's not
Yeah.
a guy. You know, it's the mind
It's
of
a
God, and we're just part of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That it's actually cognizant. You know.
Looks like Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's Lloyd's cousin, Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of believe that because half the time when Lloyd speaks, I think, "Oh God,
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
could be true."
Where's the temple? Yahweh.
My ex was really religious because every night she'd be yelling, "Oh God,
Oh God,
Yeah.
oh
Or
God,
Neo
oh
Dio.
God,
Again.
Neo
oh
Dio.
God,
what's Yahweh?
Yeah.
285 pounds. You know.
Yeah.
God."
Yeah.
What- Anyway, all right, that's enough of the dad jokes. For the love of God,
Okay.
for the love of God.
Oh, yes.
Tax on dicks. Nobody said anything about dicks. What do you
Oh,
think?
actually, Lon did.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lon
Yeah.
did.
That'd be quite a decrease in my expenditure.
Yeah.
Ah,
Mhm.
ah, ah, ah.
Oh God.
Right,
Moyle
Dom?
says
Yeah.
10%
Ah,
Yep.
too right. Yeah.
Right idea.
Ah. Mm. Those
I guess-
Aussies with the big wankers.
Well, at least with Lon, at least his imagination is fertile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get up and unzip my pants, motherfucker.
Maybe the only thing, but at least his imagination is.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. No, appreciate the offer though, Lon. It's very nice.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
Mhm.
Helicopter Lon.
Wee.
We are a penal planet with inhabitants from another planet.
Yeah, that's been explored many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea.
Well, look at Australia. I mean, that's perfect proof right there.
that's it. The Botany Bay
Yeah.
penal colony.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put
Yeah.
all their penal
There was
trans.
an episode, wasn't there an episode of Star Trek called Botany Bay?
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
the name.
Stacy.
That was the name of the ship that Khan and his fellow.
That's
Cowboy.
right. That's right. I knew it was something like that.
Con!
Augments. They're called augments, Bill.
Yes.
Were they?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Were they though?
They were
Were they?
genetically made.
That's because they were all born in August. They're all
Yep.
got it.
Yep. Augments.
And they like mint
Augies.
juleps.
Yeah.
No, they were all from
Augment.
who's the Augies? Oklahoma? No.
Oh, the Aggies?
Not Idaho. Yeah, Aggies.
Aggies. Oh, that's that's agricultural and mechanical.
No,
Yeah.
no. There's a state where you know the
What's the
Oklahoma
name of the college,
Sooners.
though?
Texas
The
A&M.
Aggies.
They're called the Aggies.
Texas A&M
Yeah?
Aggies. Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
it is? Okay.
See now, Sam. I mean, if you don't like our discussions, then come up with one. But you don't sit on the fringe and just criticize.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
we
well, no,
actually
he's like
did
the-
talk about little people because we talked about, Brad
Art.
Williams being able to
Brad
fly
Williams.
like the great Gazoo.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
toss him high enough, he can fly.
Yep. You can.
And Bill put a disclaimer that we do not
Support
endorse
right
dwarf tossing.
tossing
Well,
or
dwarf
midget
tossing.
tossing.
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
midget
bum
tossing.
fighting.
Midget car racing. Yeah.
That'd
Man,
be fun.
bum fighting.
Oh,
I
midget
miss
car
bum
racing
fighting.
looks like a lot of
Or
fun.
midget
Actually,
football. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember bum fighting?
yeah, that guy got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, man, but that was so just interesting. Those guys would go at it too for like $20. It was crazy.
It was even less. I saw it. I mean, next to nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get Art. Art, do you want to fight somebody for $20?
Yeah.
He probably would.
I know he would.
All right. I'd probably do it too.
He's not that
Yeah,
cheap.
problem
Here we
is they put their
Alright.
hand on my head, and I'll get you, you little bastard.
Kick him in the shins.
Who
All
did
right.
you say that to? I mean, what are you fighting infants? You know, we should.
Little car racing. That is true. Yeah.
All right, let's see what he'll do for 20. Art, you got any neighbors you don't like? They got any
Take your camera out and beat him up.
unprotected tire? No, you gotta do something stealthy like tire slashing or something. This video is gonna be used as used in a court of law. You guys,
Yeah, evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we? There you go. Warren wants to know: can we use the word pygmy?
Absolutely, it's a tribe.
Why not?
The tribe of people.
That's the name of the tribe.
Now in
Pygmies.
Australia, you can't say Aborigine or Abo.
Because they don't call themselves Aboriginals.
No.
They don't?
No,
No.
What do they call themselves now? First Nations or something?
I think Harry.
First Nations people. I was just going off the
Yeah,
First Nation.
I think I'll just correct that statement. First Nations people or Indigenous is the.
Oh, I thought they were Abos.
Indigenous.
No, you can't use that. You can't use
No.
that terminology.
We're in America, so we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I
I'll be
come
back.
down there, I can't say where are all the Abos. Yeah.
We still get to buy Coon's ice cream pies too.
Yeah. There you go.
Look how Steve rolled into this. What can we talk about? And Steve says, let's talk about the Northeast Drone Meetup in the Providence area, September 5th to the 7th. Here's a link to the brochure.
Oh, there's a brochure.
There's a brochure.
There's a brochure.
Files.
Ooh. Do you have it in at the AAA office? Remember that when you just drop at the AAA office and get a map? They would print you a map. What do they call those? A triptych. They print you a triptych. So if you're going, like when we're going to Daytona or whatever, they print you a triptych. You know, going for discounts to
You tripped over your dick?
What you trip on? You tripped on it? It's that big?
No tax on triptychs. No, triptych. No, man, those are the days, man. They print you a map with your little route all plotted out for you wherever you were going.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is, the Northeast U.S. Drone Meetup. Very nice.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! That's in September.
I wish I could be
September.
there. I truly do.
I wish you could be there too.
What is that? Yeah, you're mean. You're so mean.
All
Right
of
off the bat, you're
Oklahoma
breaking
wishes
rule
you
number
could be
one.
there.
You're breaking rule number 1. Be kind and courteous.
See, that's why I'm not going to be there because I can't do that. You know.
Oh, and don't forget,
no kidding.
No hate speech or bullying.
What?
Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
God, I'm not invited at all.
That's right, you little turd. And let me see.
Oof.
It's a family group. Have fun.
This is a family group.
So probably no swearing.
Well, shit.
Fuck no.
Fuck. No.
Holy fuck. Hey, I'm not on screen. That's good. I'm not on screen. Oh yeah. Oh,
I hope it goes well for them. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
Hey.
Because most of the guys that's going to be there, I've got to meet at one point or another.
Yep.
Well, you're ahead of the game, buddy.
Yeah.
Butter.
Yeah. Hey there, buddy.
How's everybody doing?
What's this all about? What's this
Hey,
all about?
buddy.
What's this all about, buddy?
Who's this all about, buddy?
Buddy.
Calm down, buddy.
Oh God, it's so great. The South Park movie.
It's a
was
boot.
just
Yeah.
Canada attacks the United States. For the South Park movie.
It's a boot.
And it brings the end times.
Yeah, I
It's about.
I was actually working in a convenience store at one time, and this guy comes in. He wanted some soup. Well, hell, he was standing right in the same aisle. There was Campbell's. You know, we had tomato, chicken. He says, "No soup." I said, "There it is, right there." He says, "No soup." I said, "What in the hell do you?" I said, "There," and I picked up a can. He said, "No, to wash yourself with." I said, "Oh, you mean soap?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Where in the hell did you learn to speak English?" And I think he said something like Wisconsin or someplace. He was, yeah, it was right up there near the Canadian border.
Yeah. Or Kenyatta.
Yeah,
We
near
planned
Canada.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go and get a.
We
I'll
planned it
go
with
and
the
get a
hats.
cap, Warren.
No, we
Yes,
planned it with the hats. Only half of us wear hats.
I just
We
ruined it.
alternate every week. Ah!
I'll go and look
Our
for one.
symmetry is ruined. Oof, now it's back. Oh, it's gone.
2 hats.
Oh my God, it's got 2 hats.
No, I'm really
my God.
Oh, you're pushing it now, buddy.
2 hats
Boudet.
and a Crown Royal bag. Let's see
Crown
what-
Royal
Oh
bag.
wow, and a sack. It's got a sack on his head, folks.
Yep.
a whole bunch of them. I was going to give these away at the
God.
meetup, and I forgot.
What an alcoholic.
Yeah, I got away with one of them.
That's a Crown
There we go.
Royal addict up in here, yo.
I don't even drink this stuff. I get this for free at work.
Sure. That's what I tell everybody too.
But every so often,
Yeah, buddy.
they send us. It's Canadian, isn't it? Crown Royal. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That
good.
makes sense.
It's
Buddy.
like good stuff. It's expensive,
Good stuff, buddy.
but
The Papa's good too.
they sometimes send us the retail boxes, which is actual boxes, but and everyone comes with a bag. Usually we don't get that. We get the commercial, which doesn't have the bags. But every so often, that's all they have, so that's what they send. So I get free bags. These bags are actually, I tell you, for a free bag around your bottle of booze that most people just throw in their trash, these things are pretty sturdy.
Oh yeah, those things will, and they'll last forever.
yeah.
They last.
Yeah.
They don't fall apart. I mean, I've bought bags that were meant to be bags that didn't do as well as this bag. Your bag,
Boudet.
yeah.
I used mine to carry around my Avada goggles.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yikes. You sound like Billy Kyle.
Avada goggles. Say that 5 times fast.
Avada
Goggles. Avada goggles. Avada goggles.
Hey,
Avada goggles.
You sound like,
Avada
sound like the Hamburglar.
Avada goggles. Avada goggles. Avada goggles.
do.
Avada goggles.
Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Okay, let's
Hey,
discuss.
Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty.
Let's see.
You know, we haven't even made it through the first hour. We're already looking tired and sad. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, I woke up tired. I don't know what my
I
deal
did.
was. I couldn't get to sleep until like 3:30, and then I woke up, and then goddamn, I didn't close my blinds. So about 7:30, the sun was like laser right in my face. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You know, so
I think I
got
took
up.
about 3 naps today.
3. Wow. You're one short.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you can have it because you're already short.
That's right.
Yeah.
One short guy.
Yeah.
See, that is why blackout curtains were the greatest invention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them. I just had them open like a
Got it.
dumbass.
Got to have blackout curtains. If you live in Florida, that sun will just the sun starts to go through the walls a little bit sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. Yeah. And it's like, get up. It's like, am I fine? Get the fuck up.
Here's an interesting drink. See if this sounds any good to you. I am doing the Dr. Pepper strawberry cream soda.
Okay.
Strawberries and cream. It's actually the diet, really good diet soda. It doesn't to me, but I drink diet, so it doesn't taste like diet soda. Very good. With
Good.
peanut butter whiskey. So I got like a kind of a peanut butter and strawberry.
PBJ.
Yeah,
PBJ.
it's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, quite delightful. Oh. Oh. What a delightful way to get fuckered up. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, what a delightful way to get wasted. Oh.
This is why, one of the many myriad reasons why I love my wife. All I did was mention to her that Dad had that one time and how much I liked it. And she's been buying it for me ever since. I just mentioned it in passing. That's a good partner. You know?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Your wife is awesome.
She really,
Yeah,
she really is.
Yeah, she is.
Couldn't have done better, I'll tell you that. certainly have done worse.
Well,
Yeah,
it
twice.
took you.
I plan
You
on
definitely
being
married
there
above
for
your
her too.
station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
gotta meet her. You gotta meet her. You all gotta meet her. She's a
Yeah,
doll.
yeah.
Jeff,
She is. She's a
I got to
sweetheart.
meet her. I plan on being there for her, in times
leave
of
it
trouble.
ready.
Yeah. And when you're weary, I mean, to a man or to a person, like if somebody were to meet us as a couple, who do you think they like?
Her.
Including her, duh.
Yeah.
Including my own family. Yeah.
Oh no, you're awesome, Bill.
Oh yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
peach.
In other
You're a
words,
peach.
if your marriage breaks up, they're going to keep her and get rid of you, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
Yeah.
keep her.
Yeah.
A lot of families are like that. They split up, and then the wife, the spouse, or the other way around, the husband,
Yeah.
actually remains a member of the family.
Yeah.
Because they love them.
Mhm.
No matter what the
Yeah.
problems are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is. It is.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I actually think that's gross. When the marriage splits up, I'm just saying the marriage splits up, and
Gross,
then
though?
it is, and then the opposite partner still tries to hang out with the breakup family. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I think that's
I think
gross.
the breakup.
I really do.
I think it needs to be an amicable breakup for that to happen. And there is such a thing. People remain friends afterwards.
Yeah.
No,
Well, unless
I-
there's kids or something like that, you know what I mean? Then that gives you an excuse to have a connection. But when there's no kids, bye, Felicia.
See, but
Quit calling my mom.
I mean,
Quit hanging out at my sister's house. You know what? Beat it.
if you had a daughter-in-law that you called your daughter and she called you dad for 20 years or whatever, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just they just kind of remain a member to. You probably like them better than most of your real family.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hopefully not your son, though.
Brenda, you're awesome. You're awesome. See what she said?
Yeah. Sun star.
Yeah.
You're a shining star.
She's
No matter who you are.
she's
Shining
probably-
bright to see.
probably snickering. I was
What
talking
you
about
really
the size.
be.
I was talking about the size of his ass. It's awesome. Oh God, it's awesome. It's huge.
Mm.
I couldn't associate my ex-family with much pain, memories, yada yada. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, I suppose.
The clean breaks, baby. That's where I'm at. Clean breaks.
Yep. That's what I did.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Of course, it
man.
helped that they both cheated on me, so it gave me a really good excuse to get the hell away from them.
Well, same here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was just alleged.
But
Second
the
one was,
first,
second
the-
one was
the-
absolute.
yeah, the first mistake.
Stepdaughter helped her hide it from me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My ex father-in-law,
Stepson's a good kid.
he actually liked me better than he did his son-in-law at the time, which was her second husband. He couldn't stand the second husband, but he always called me son.
Ah.
That's nice and all that. I understand the premise.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I just no.
Well, he
when I'm
didn't approve
done,
of
I'm
what his
done,
daughter
and-
did either.
No.
Yeah.
Because he was a minister and he thought that was a little outside the acceptable behavior, even for a preacher's daughter.
Yeah, they're the worst, by the way, in my experience.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Well,
My experience
Well,
too.
2 preachers' daughters and 1 missionary's daughter, and woof.
And
Every
then what
position but missionary. Let's put it like that.
I was going to say, what position does a missionary's daughter use?
No, anyone but missionary. And I mean, no holes barred.
Mhm.
Is that how that saying goes? No holes barred.
Yep.
No, I think it's supposed to be holes, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh well. Anyway, she was no holes barred.
No holds barred is a term. You got that's
It's
But
a
it's
holds,
holes.
not holes.
HOLD. Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
It didn't care what sequence you used them in either, by the way.
And
But anyway,
Oh.
yeah, she was nasty.
if she starts choking, pull back a couple inches.
He got it
Yeah.
in my mouth.
Mm.
Second try. Yes, he did. Yes, he
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 All
Like
right.
that.
What a this story is bringing about memories for some folks here. So we need
And nightmares for others.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yes.
didn't- yeah, bad memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the preacher's daughter.
I'm actually a little worried that I may have to, because when I go up to see my son in August, I think they'll all run into her so.
Oh,
Hopefully
With
not.
what, your rented car?
No, well, yeah, that. Well, if I had the chance, probably.
yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time though, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's been
out.
40.
Yeah, but
45
but
years.
here's the thing. So what? You were happy after that? You had a great life with your wife?
Oh yeah. If it
You know,
hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have married Judy.
You know,
Yeah.
if
There you go.
if she upsets you, that means you still have some feelings there.
Yeah, I would say, Lloyd, you got to be over it by now. Jeez.
Oh yeah, I'm well over. I just don't like being in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, she's a stranger at this
you can
point.
feel like somebody's a piece of shit without actually getting angry or.
Yeah, no, I'm well beyond that stage. I mean,
Okay.
that's a waste of energy. I just,
I talk to pieces of shit every day and very, very pleasantly and nicely because
mostly in the mirror.
I'm paid to working in a business that serves people. But it's in the mirror too, as a matter of fact. First admit it.
I'm talking to the man in the mirror.
I'm thinking he's a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Hey, Jordy.
Oh Lord,
we got Jordy.
Little sharp, bow sharp. Oh,
we got perfect in every
Hey, where's your father at? Not that we're not glad to see you, because we are. How you doing, Jordy?
Hey, Jordy.
Jordy and the pussy cats. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right.
No, it's not. It's close.
That's not the one. It's close. Ha.
Jordy. There's no songs with Jordy in it.
Jordy.
And didn't really rhyme with anything either.
Bordy. Jordy sitting around the house kind of boardy.
Jordy, oh Lordy.
Oh Lordy. Yeah.
Stubbed his toe and said, oh Lordy.
Jordy.
I'm never going to make 40. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, good to see you, Jordy. Welcome in. RJ's Ron. How you doing? RJ's Ariels. Is that Ron Lockwood?
Ron Johnson.
No, that's RL.
Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
Ron Johnson.
Mr. Johnson to you, buddy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get him a wrench.
Give him
Mr.
a wrench.
Lockwood.
A wrench.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I knew it
Dark
was
in these
Ron, and then it
corners.
struck me thinking, did Ron Lockwood change his name of his channel? And then I said, I thought his name was Ron Johnson.
Ron Johnson.
It'd be RL.
No, but I remember the name Ron Johnson.
Ron Lockwood.
I probably met him, so
Yeah.
I should be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed. Shame.
Mm.
Shame. Dun. Shame. Dun. You know what that's from. You don't like the program, I don't think.
No, I like the program. The first
Did you?
season.
Just the first season?
Then there was parts like when she was captured by the not the Hungarians, the Jacardis. No, the
Hungarians.
no, the Jacardis are the horse people. I can't think of their goddamn name off the top of my head right now.
Oh,
Jason
Centaur?
Momoa. When Jason Momoa caught her, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I like that whole part. The whole march with the slaves and everything was okay. I mean, I think the last season, I guess, just soured me on it, quite frankly. And then when it got all gay, it got a little on my nerves too.
There was quite a bit of gay in there. Yeah.
What
There was a
show is
lot
this?
of gay.
What are y'all talking about? What show?
We're just
Game of
making it up.
Thrones.
We're just making it up as we go along.
Yeah, we're
okay.
spitballing show for HBO.
Oh, Don's going to straighten
Yay.
it out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Don.
Hey, Donald.
Done. It's on, done.
Lady.
I'm gonna take a poop.
The Rockies.
Huh?
That's Rockies. Thank you, sir.
South Rockies. That's
And
right.
and Uncle
Yeah,
Bill,
I knew
there
it was something like that.
there is a song with Jordy in it.
Is there?
Yeah. My little buttercup, sure. Do one for me.
Okay.
No, didn't land, buddy.
Jordy, one for me.
Bring him-
Jordy,
yeah, I
one for
get
me.
what you're trying to say, but yeah, take it back to the room and do some more spitballing.
Yeah.
Where, speaking of rooms, where are you right now, Don?
I'm in the garage.
Oh,
You pissed her off again, huh?
Yeah.
No, I've been out here cleaning all day. I've been cleaning since this morning and off and on.
Pissed her off, huh? You get out there in that garage, you cleaned it up, mister.
you got AC in
Yes.
that garage? I see you've got drywall and everything, and like it's a finished garage.
Oh, yeah, it looks
No,
nice. Yeah, it looks
No
nice.
AC.
No.
But let's see here, back camera. There we go.
Buggy.
I
No,
cleaned
he's got speed buggy
up.
just about done.
I got new steel up in here.
Oh,
You can
nice.
see the floor
I got new
right
steel
here.
Wow.
up in
I
here,
I
up
hung my
in
son.
here.
My son and I hung his jacks up.
Yeah.
Check out the box.
You got it done.
Finished.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Zoom. Zoom.
That bug looks
Yeah.
You might see that thing.
How many months did that take you?
Too many.
11.
That's a sweet little buggy. Let me tell you.
That is.
It'll get
You
about
made it-
100 miles.
You
a
made
Yeah.
it
year,
look
probably.
nice, Don.
I took it out for a little run earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you just drive it?
Ah.
And
Oh,
okay, and
Scared the hell out of me.
okay, you're gonna let that one slide, and you're gonna call me on the Jordy one for me joke. Go to hell.
No, yeah. Well, you know, Mark, did you have a job interview today or something? You are clean, buddy. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Clean
Okay.
shaven. Look at
You gotta
that.
have
Just got
Fester.
He
bored of
also
the
muted.
beard.
Oh, there he
Did you
is.
who?
I shave it off every now and again.
Uh,
I'll just
Bill?
let it grow for a few months again and then shave it off again.
I cannot find any bird dog peanut butter,
uh-oh.
so I got maple.
Is it any good? I bet you it's sweet.
It's interesting.
I like
No,
purple stuff.
No?
it's interesting. It's not as good as peanut butter. It's better than the chocolate.
Well, they have it now at Total Wine and More in Jensen Beach. So
I went to several liquor stores around here, and they had different bird
Who's that?
dogs. And they didn't have any.
Stickity thick girl.
yeah, no, they always have the less popular ones, like there's cookie dough and
Yeah,
you know.
I couldn't find any peanut butter. It's like, damn it. So I got maple.
Cookie dough.
Hey,
Cookie dough
Yeah,
liquor.
cookie dough whiskey. Yeah,
it's poison and it's palatable enough to drink. So, okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm telling you, Mark got his jowls polished. I mean, look at that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Damn,
I think he
son.
waxed his head too.
Yeah,
He's looking clean,
It
kid.
reminded me of what they
Look
did
at
to
this
me
guy.
before I went in for my surgery.
I'm saying, dude.
Shaved that right nut. You
Like
know?
stuck his head in a ball polisher or something. I mean, he's
Yeah.
looking good. He's looking good, son. I'm telling you. What the hell? Huh.
He looks like Uncle Fester.
Yeah,
Thanks, Art.
a little bit. He's heard that
he
one
looks
before,
more.
I'm sure.
He looks more like a boil fester.
Ah.
Oh. I
Well,
still like
think
Gru,
he's done.
personally. I like
Gru.
Gru better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gru.
Did he grew on you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Gru is
Yeah.
what?
Got the
That's
hook
from
nose.
Despicable Me, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Despicable Me. Yeah. Got a little bit of the hook nose going, so he looks a little bit like Gru, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What else do
Jordy
you
says
think
you can
my
almost see yourself in the reflection of his head there. You know?
why else do you think that my avatar on YouTube is a minion in a stormtrooper outfit?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Into it, baby. Yeah.
I thought it was because you were constantly getting really close to the camera with that magnifying glass or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And it just looks like that,
You
yeah.
were very minion-like
Yeah.
when you did that.
I thought it was to entice the little kids.
Oh,
Oh, when he's on Omegle. Oh, nobody else gets that reference.
Man, this maple stuff
they
makes
probably
me
closed
mean, huh?
Omegle.
Oh, it's what? It's 80. That's the only it's one of the few flavored whiskeys that's actually 80 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm drinking.
Akira Show says he wants to come on.
Yeah, send him a link.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'll put the
Yeah.
link right in the chat.
Absolutely. Come on,
There
Ward.
you go.
You know,
Go for it.
Ah,
I'm gonna have to go pretty quick, but
you have to go.
coming and going so fast. You tease.
I just popped on because you couldn't remember Dothraki.
South Rocky.
Yeah, thank you very much, Don.
Thank you, Khaleesi.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, my Khaleesi. Yeah.
You know, she was.
No,
after
I
me.
mean, I liked
She
the
was after
first
reason
season.
I kept watching that season after season. Was because
Oh
of
my
her.
God, she's just got such a nice B cups, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
oof, man, boy, ooh,
Well, there's-
grr,
You got to see him.
rawr,
It's not
rawr,
like
rawr, rawr,
it's size that matters, you know. It's
I didn't say that. I said she's a nice, super nice bees.
yeah, no, the
Meow.
whole thing. Nice butt too.
Perky.
But not just
Oh
that.
yeah, this
good,
is
nice
just a pretty
face,
girl.
Nice face, the whole thing. Yeah, no, she was.
She had an interesting face. I'm not so sure she's super pretty,
I thought
but she has an interesting face.
I
I think she's attractive. I just don't think she's gorgeous. I think she has an interesting face.
I think her real, you know, non Khaleesi face, you know, in real life, she's got that girl next door look to her. Until she talks, she's kind
Ooh,
of trashy.
you think so?
No,
I think she's got
Not
that
at
door 2 or 3 houses away look because she's just. I don't think in a real look. I don't think she's that pretty. I think she's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm just saying I don't think she's that hot.
I like her and I like her personality. I've seen her interviewed, and she seems like a nice person. I mean, I say that about a lot of people, and they're probably complete a-holes, but she does.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah. Everybody thought Rachel Ziegler was super awesome until recently
Yeah.
because she was in West Side Story. Everybody thought she was a rising star and she was so nice and blah 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 blah. And this whole Snow White thing came up. Yeah, and the next thing you know, she's universally hated, basically.
Cool Cat, that's not an unpopular opinion that The Hobbit was a 3-movie story. That's a very popular opinion. Most people are idiots.
Name the 3 stories.
It shouldn't have been. It should have been 2 movies. It should have ended after the dinner at Bjorn's and right before they went into Mirkwood. That should have been where the first one ended. The second one should have been the Mirkwood on.
Well, you had the.
We also didn't need the love story between the elf and the dwarf.
Hey.
Hey.
This thing just said, "Oops, connection lost." Did I stutter or something? Or
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
frozen.
Yeah, now you're frozen.
I'm glad it happened to
Frozen.
someone else besides me for once. Because that's what was happening to me. It would just out of nowhere just go, oops, connection loss.
Yeah, now you're looking like Matt's headroom.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really not
Your
on my
voice
end.
is great, but
No,
Yeah, no.
what are the 3 stories of The Hobbit?
Well, there's the Hobbit.
No,
Right.
he was baiting me, and he knew he was bait. In fact, that was Dawn bait. He knew it would get me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The Hobbit should have been 2 movies.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah.
What 2 movies?
I just told you. The Hobbit should have the first movie should have ended after Bjorn's house, and right as they get to Mirkwood. The second movie should have taken place through Mirkwood and the Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh.
isn't that the way they did the cartoon of it? Or did they ever do the second
Yes.
half of it?
No, they never finished the old cartoon from the
Rankin,
80s,
yeah, the Rankin,
the 70s.
yeah. I can't remember.
I don't think they ever finished.
Basically the Rankin Bass they did, but it was a highlights version of the show.
Okay.
But the Ralph Bakshi, not Rankin Bass, Ralph Bakshi. The Ralph Bakshi
Yeah,
version
Ralph
of The
Bakshi.
Hobbit
Yeah.
was actually better than the movies we got.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't remember them finishing it. I don't remember them throwing the ring into. I don't remember destroying the ring.
Okay, are you talking about The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings?
Well, just in general, the Bakshi. They never finished the story, did they?
Well, you know,
Yeah, I believe they did. I believe it was a highlights version of it.
what when they threw
That
when he
covered
threw
all
the
of
ring, when he threw the ring in the volcano? What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?
don't think they did that.
Sure they did.
Did they do that?
Yeah,
Did they?
and he fell in after it. Yeah, the
No,
ring
in
went in.
the old cartoon.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't.
We're talking about the old cartoon, brother. I know they did it
I
with
don't. I don't.
the
I don't remember if they did. I know that they did.
I don't think so.
I thought he did Return of the King.
Well, I remember Up to Smog. You know, and that's about.
Okay, that was the
I don't
Hobbit.
remember.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
That's the Hobbit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Different
understand
Hobbit,
that.
different story.
But
It's
Rankin
Hobbit
Bass
one.
did both, didn't they? Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
they did the
No,
Hobbit.
Yeah,
Ralph
the Hobbit?
Bakshi, not Rankin Bass.
Bob
Ralph
Sheep.
Bakshi.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bakshi.
really?
I agree with that.
Okay.
Same one
Yeah.
that did that movie with the mice.
Ratatouille?
Nim.
Nim,
Oh,
yeah.
Secret of
Yeah.
Nim. Yeah. Okay.
Mrs. Frisbee
yeah,
and the Secret of
yeah,
Nim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
and Watership
That's
Down,
right.
actually, right? No, wasn't it?
Bakshi did not do Watership Down. I don't think did he?
No, not Watership Down. It's a similar style, though.
Ralph Bakshi did Wizards. I'm pretty sure it was a Bakshi movie. He did Fire and Ice, which no one's ever heard of, but it's an okay 80s sword and sorcery animated
Secret
movie.
of Nim was really good.
I just don't understand.
It had a very strong female protagonist. See, people think you can't have strong female protagonists back in the day. Not true.
Well, there's such a thing as strong female protagonists. I mean, look at
I know,
Michelle-
but people act like it never happened before recently. You know what I mean?
Michelle
Like it was
Obama.
not a thing.
Michelle Obama,
One-
for example.
Was she in
Wonder
a movie?
Woman,
Was it Wonder Woman? Yeah.
$6 million
And,
woman.
Yeah, but she's a side character.
That's
you know?
Linda Hamilton.
How about Xenia? Or is that her name? Xenia?
Xena.
the warrior
Yeah.
princess.
Oh,
Xena?
Xena
Oh my
the-
God! What a woof.
Yeah, no, you like
Well,
Lucy.
and,
You
How
like,
about that?
you like Lucy.
Yeah, I
Lawless.
like Lucy Lawless and that sexual tension between her and the little blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Catwoman.
Okay. Catwoman.
What was that?
Julie
What was that?
Newmar as Catwoman. Yep.
Yeah. And what was that movie? I think it had Schwarzenegger in it and Wilt Chamberlain.
Talking about Terminator? Oh,
Conan?
no.
Oh,
The
Hangar?
woman was a redhead.
Oh, Red Sonja.
Red
Plus-
Sonja. Yeah.
Sonja.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, oof.
You can even go back as far as Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, I
What
just
was that?
watched.
Elizabeth
I just
Taylor?
watched The Mummy, which was from 2017, and
Tom Cruise?
with Tom Cruise, and the Mummy was a woman. Yeah.
Lon, you are correct. The Lord of the Rings, the Bakshi version of Lord of the Rings, ended at Helm's Deep. It did not
Yeah.
continue on. He was going to do the sequels, but they were canceled.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
too
what I
bad?
thought.
Because
That's what I
they were
thought.
really good. I thought they were really good.
What's this
Yeah,
called?
for the time they were.
Bad shit version.
The Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
Oh,
Bakshi. Yeah. Yeah, The Hobbit and then Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Cool Cat, are you messing with me? You shall not pass. Are you messing with me? Because out of the movie quote, in the books it was you cannot pass, and that is the true. It should be the true line. You cannot pass because he wasn't saying you shall not because I won't let you. He was saying you cannot because you don't have the power. It was completely different. I'm a book nerd.
well, sometimes I cannot pass, but a little,
Yeah, sometimes you cannot pass.
Little Pepto.
and you're good.
Yeah, a little prune juice, some Pepto. Enema. Yeah.
Iron hot.
Whew. That Mark, man, he is clean, son. I keep looking down there and going, God dang. Look at
White
this
shirt.
guy.
Yeah,
Woo, that white ass shirt.
he
Damn.
looks like the guy on the bottle of the Mr. Clean.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Mr. Clean.
Only
Mr. Clean at home.
What the hell?
Mr. Clean at home. Mr.
Yeah,
Clean
there you go.
Senior.
Yeah.
Mr.
The
Clean's
middle
dad.
age.
That's it right there. I knew it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Clean's dad. Senior Clean.
Yeah, he just needs the earring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, the guy that they used for the last model of Mr. Clean was actually a firefighter out of Tulsa.
Oh, I thought it was Mark. Yeah.
No,
Hey,
he was a firefighter from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and
Yeah.
he was the latest. Well,
Mark's
Man,
Mr.
man.
Clean's cousin, Mr. Slob.
Yeah.
yeah,
Stop it. He looks, I'm telling you, dude. Woof.
Oh, are they
Did you ever
discussing who
finish
is the
your
best
dummy,
Catwoman?
Lloyd?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
We
The
mean on the
best
old
Catwoman.
show?
Yeah.
I think
Batman.
Eartha
Best
Kitt.
Catwoman.
I'd have to.
Eartha Kitt was good.
Yep.
Nah.
Yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
That brrr thing she did was kind of cool.
yeah.
And
No.
who's the other Catwoman?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Julie
No.
Newmar and
Julie
Meredith
Newmar.
Baxter.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was from the movies too, though, not just the stupid Batman show, right?
Yeah, because
Right.
we
Okay.
we need to include Halle Berry
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
and
yeah.
what's her name
Although
from
she's
the
in
latest one?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. But
Pretty sure I said about 4 times.
who
Mark
was
said Michelle Pfeiffer.
There was another
Mark
one.
said Michelle Pfeiffer.
There was another one recently. She was from the Princess Diaries. What's that girl's name?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. And there's
Oh,
another one now because of
Yeah.
the Batman. She's pretty good.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah.
She's mixed too. Ha ha. Mixed
Oh, my
people
God.
doing it right. Yeah, baby. Ha ha. Yeah. Nah, she was kind of cute. I'll give it to her. I still like Michelle Pfeiffer in that role for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Tell you the truth.
Michael. I'm sure Ian McKellen was reading the books, but they changed. There was a lot of changes made for the movies between
Zoe
between the books and the
Kravitz
movies.
was the
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Lenny's kid.
Wow.
Yeah, Lenny's kid. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. I forgot about
American
that.
woman. You
Dun-dun-dun-dun. And she was cute, but I don't know what it is about Michelle Pfeiffer. I just thought she was. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Michelle Pfeiffer
Like her
and
the
Lady
best.
Hawk. Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I quite liked it when Wednesday and Enid both dressed up as Catwoman.
What? That's that.
was that on the TV show Wednesday?
Wednesday show?
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah.
it.
when they did the boat
I watched the
race.
first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second season's not out yet.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched a bunch of YouTube shorts.
Mm.
That's
Yep.
it.
It's on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where art is the
What's
best.
that
It's
actress's
where
name?
his videos,
Girl.
his shorts. That's where
Jenna
he makes.
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
Ortega.
did you know that the only person at that school who is not either a ghoul or a werewolf or a vampire or whatever
It's
is
played
the-
by Christina Ricci.
the botany teacher.
You gave that
What?
trivia last night, wasn't it? Or was that on?
What kind of
Oh.
creature? What kind of creature is Wednesday Addams?
Yeah, wait a minute. What? She's a ghoul.
She's
by
human,
the way.
isn't she?
Wednesday Addams is a ghoul.
Well,
She's a
ghouls
ghoul.
eat ghouls, don't they? They eat flesh, don't they? Don't they eat brains? Ghouls.
No, that's
No, that's zombies.
No,
That's a zombie.
zombies.
I don't know what is a ghoul. I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, I think a ghoul is a dead body, a reanimated
Good night,
dead body,
Steve.
kind of like a zombie.
Well, Gomez is a ghoul though, and the mom is
a
a
plant.
witch, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, a
Was she a
ghoul.
plant monster?
AI's weighing in here. A ghoul is a creature from folklore, often described as an evil demon or spirit that feeds on corpses and robs graves.
I'll go along with that.
There you go.
I'll go all the parts except for the feeds on corpses. But guess who else feeds on corpses?
I believe
Guess
Okay.
who else feeds on corpses?
A ghoul
Everyone
is a
here.
A ghoul is a
Everyone here.
subclass of the vampire.
You know,
Yes.
feeds on corpses. That's
Wednesday Addams
I fed on a corpse today.
is a human.
Well, no,
Just
it didn't
plain
say
old human?
It said corpses. No, it said corpses.
No, she
Wednesday's
has
human.
powers.
Just-
Wednesday.
Wednesday is human.
Yeah.
She's psychic, but she's human.
Oh yeah,
So a little,
Okay.
little bit of witchery going on.
yeah. Because the mom's a witch. I remember that distinctly. Because her mother's a witch. Remember, her grandma's
Right.
a witch.
Yeah,
Oh,
And-
grandma.
And
Well,
yeah,
Grandmama is definitely a witch.
Gomez is a ghoul.
Yeah.
But is the mom actually a witch? Because I don't recall her ever. Did she do any spells and like that on the show?
Yeah, she helped her mom with a spell. I can remember distinctly at least
That
once.
just makes her a familiar.
No, I understand. I'm trying to decide, and I can't think of one, so I'll have to concede because I don't have a specific example. So I'll
Good
concede
night,
that
Steve
point.
Janess.
Oh, good night, Steve.
Good night, Steve.
Right,
Night,
Steve.
Steve.
Nice, Steve.
Night, Steve. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
No,
Bye.
no, I
I
remember
think-
her
Dominic,
working
wait up,
with
wake up.
Grandmama.
Yeah,
on a
I think
spell.
Morticia was a witch.
Yep.
Morticia was a witch. That's what I'm saying. But nobody wants
Grandmama
to
was
believe it, so-
definitely a witch.
Yep.
Grandmama is absolutely a witch.
What about the other grandmother?
No, Grandmama was
Gomez's
definitely a
mother?
witch.
There was only
Yeah,
one
Gomez's
grandma.
mother. Grandma
Yeah,
Frump.
she never. I don't think she ever came around. I don't remember Gomez's
Oh yeah,
mother.
and I'm thinking, oh, who
Eh,
played her?
you sure?
Yeah, Grandma Frump.
Oh.
Now, if you're talking about the original Addams Family TV
Yes.
show,
Yes.
you know, Thing was often portrayed. It was usually portrayed by the guy who played Lurch.
Lurch, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know that as a joke, he would every once in a while switch hands? So Thing would sometimes be a right hand, sometimes Thing would be a left hand.
Oh, that's great. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
know.
And he did it just to see if anybody would notice any difference, and no one ever did.
Okay, Morticia Adams is a witch, apparently.
Good night.
Morticia Adams is
All right, good
commonly
night,
portrayed
Alexis.
as a-
Night,
who's saying
Alexis.
Good night.
Oh,
Yes.
Margaret Hamilton played Grandma.
That's
Frump.
what I thought. Who
Yeah.
played Grandma
Yeah.
Frump? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
she was.
Well, there you
So-
have it.
I was pretty sure that was her because she was the
Margaret
Wicked Witch of the
Hamilton
West.
was Gomez's mom?
Oh yeah.
In what? The TV show?
TV
Yep.
show. Yeah,
Yep.
How
I
many
did not
times
know
did
that.
she appear? I can't remember her period.
oh yeah,
Probably
She'd
just
come to visit once in a while or something?
yeah.
or
She
what?
come to visit. Yeah, yeah.
I think the big family get-togethers that they would have.
Right.
There would be a house full of these wackos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have to all remember the Addams Family only ran for what? 1 season, 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
Yeah.
Where'd Don go? Don left.
Oh, Don left. He went to go find out. No,
They don't.
no. They only the Addams Family is
Yeah.
another one of these shows that didn't run that long, but
Yeah.
everybody canonized it.
Yeah.
And Grandmama Adams is also a witch.
Don didn't-
Grandmama
Oh,
Adams is an aged witch who concocts potions and spells and dabbles in fortune telling and knife throwing. There
I'm
you go.
just saying, Don didn't.
Wait.
leave. Alexis did.
What?
Wait.
Don's gone as well.
Grandma on the
Oh, Don's
show
gone.
was
Yeah.
wait a minute. Grandma on the show was Gomez's mother, wasn't she? And Morticia referred to her as mama or whatever because
Grandmama.
you know
Yeah.
she's married. Because she's
her-
married. I think
Yeah.
she was Grandma Adams.
She is.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she was Gomez's. But the other one, Grandma Frump, was Morticia's mother.
Right. Morticia's maiden
Gotcha.
name was Frump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you got it.
And she
Got
looked
it,
just
got
like she,
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. That's all.
and her
Alright.
character looked just like the gal that was, looks like she did in The Wizard of Oz before she became the witch. Riding the bicycle.
Yeah.
She dressed almost
Uh-huh.
identical to that.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Okay.
the botany teacher, the only human, is actually played by the same woman that played Wednesday in the 90s.
Right.
Oh,
Christina
Richie.
Ricci.
Yeah.
Oh, Christina Ricci. Right. She's played a lot of
Yeah.
other things.
Now wait a minute.
She's been around a little bit.
I don't remember the show then, because I thought her roommate, which is a normal human, I thought all
No.
the kids in the school were normal except for Wednesday.
No, her roommate's a werewolf.
Yeah, roommates are well.
Yeah.
That little blonde girl's a werewolf?
Yeah. She hadn't turned yet, and she finally turned towards the end of this.
Yeah, at the beginning, the best she could do was Wolverine
pop
her
out her
nails.
claws. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch the
Yeah.
show close enough.
Yeah.
I didn't get that interested in it, to be
I haven't
honest
watched
with
it
you.
at all, and I knew that.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
shorts. There's so many shorts
Yeah.
on YouTube.
There is now, because it's coming up
Oh.
to the second season.
Oh, I thought the whole point of this stupid show that they were sending her to a school where everybody's normal.
No, They were sending
Yeah.
it to a
But
school where
she
everybody
was,
was
you know,
abnormal.
because she's the odd one out. I thought that was the whole point. She's the odd one out. You know what I mean?
No,
Well, no,
she
she's not.
comes from a school for normal.
Morticia went to that school too.
Yeah, that was Morticia's school as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
John says his
She
battery
was sent
died.
to
Yeah.
that school.
She's a legacy.
Oh.
She didn't want to go, but the mom basically made her go. She said, "You'll
She
love
was
it."
sent to that
She's been kicked
school
out of every
because
other
she
school,
put
right?
piranhas in the
Right.
swimming pool
Yeah,
to get her
put
own back
piranhas
on
in the swimming
people who
pools.
were
Yeah.
taking the Mickey out of her brother.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She's the only one
Okay.
who can pick on him.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't vaguely remember that show. I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, eh.
I just checked my videos back to normal, right?
Yep. You
Yeah,
look
you look
good.
good, buddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Hey
I-
now.
But I-
Hey, buddy.
but
Hey,
You got to learn not to
buddy.
be. Bill, you just
Your
can't be
audio's
downloading
quieter than
porn while you're
normal,
doing
Bob.
your show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know why
Yes.
it did that. There's nothing wrong with my connection. First of all, I'm cabled. It's not even wireless, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, you, man. I had the same. That's what was going on with mine for a while, and it just quit. It doesn't do it anymore. But it would just go, oops,
you
lost
gotta
connection out of the blue.
You got to think maybe somewhere in the backbone or somewhere in the internet between you and the server that Restream is using, that you somewhere in there has been some kind of interruption or problem.
Yeah.
And let's not forget
Apparently.
it is Saturday night, and all the
Right.
losers are
Yeah.
home on the internet watching porn. So or here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday night.
Or they're watching you. Yeah.
Saturday
There's
night.
certain times that the internet is a lot busier than other times, and you will have
Yeah.
especially since they oversell their capacity
Oh yeah.
Oh.
big time, and they base that idea is that not everybody's on at the same time. Well, at certain times at a time, a moment in time, with time and a moment. It's starting to sound like Kamala. That there's more people on than other times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, because it doesn't take that much bandwidth to do this.
I think Paul's sucking up all the bandwidth. You know what? Till you guys told me this, I had no idea this guy was on that much. I mean, I get up, I'm taking a dump. I'm like, holy crap. There he
He's
is.
on a-
Twice a day.
9 o'clock in
Yeah,
the
for like
morning
2 or
and 5
3
in the
hours at a
afternoon.
time.
Oh yeah.
Or more.
He took-
I feel bad. I didn't see this message from Alexis, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She
Right.
had to go to
We
help
said
you
goodbye
out.
to her, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
We said
Yeah, we
goodbye.
did. Because some of us saw it and said goodbye. So
I
Yep.
said goodbye to her. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Me
I have to
too.
go help Jeff.
Okay.
He'll have a good night and have a great holiday weekend. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gotta tell you,
Yeah, I'll be
they're
working-
on a
I'll be
lot.
working Monday.
Yeah.
Ah, you dog.
He's on at
Or baby.
9 a.m. and 5 p.m. every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
7
like,
days a
wow.
week.
You guys are all just kind of sitting there too. I was like, every once in a while, crack on each other. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And now that's a Zoom. That's not even a Zoom call because you're not even talking. Guys just kind of sitting there. No wonder Dominic's so burned out by the time he gets here. He's already done
Yeah.
like 11 hours
I'm
of
already-
stream
already-
time.
Yeah. I'm already
You got
at
two
the-
hands, Don,
Don't
so
have a
it sounds like a winner.
Yeah,
Yep.
but but what does he mean by that? Are we the porn? I'm watching you and porn. We could be his porn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Oh, here we go.
I'm chomping.
That's the icing.
Oh no, he's going to quick. Everybody talk.
Yeah, we're gonna
Oh, I
talk.
thought Bill was going to pull
Yeah.
up video.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to
You
talk
don't have
now.
to choke on or anything,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to suck it.
That's all done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's just crazy, but it's fine if that's what he wants to do, and you guys all enjoy it. Then it's all good. You know, it was just interesting.
Oh, half
you guys
of
are
the
spending
time-
4 and 5 hours a day to be on stream, like
half of the
7 days a
time,
week.
Paul isn't. Half
What
the
are you
time,
talking
Paul
about?
isn't even there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Starts the show, and then halfway through, he say, "You guys all right? I just want to go and fly a ship."
Oh yeah.
He'll do at least 3 sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brenda, why did you hide that message? Oh no, you didn't. What did you hide?
Because she messed up. Well, she got too much information, Lon, and too much information, Don. So I don't know which one she meant. Or she meant I gave her too much information, or if Don did. I'm not sure.
you have want to do that. You know, there are times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're full of
Me?
information. Yeah.
I'm demure. Demure, I'll have you know.
Anybody want to see any pictures? Anybody want to see some pictures from the my weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I knew I'd get some pushback.
Vaughn, we're trying to be nice to the host. You know, yes, we do, Bill. We're really.
Yeah.
Try to be nice to the host.
Be awesome.
That's even worse than
they're
Ron.
great.
Ron's being honest, at least. You son of a.
Yeah. No, I always wanted to see more high school graduation.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we need
No,
to see
actually, go ahead. It's mildly interesting, actually.
Mildly.
It's better than listening to lawn talk. So.
And houses and cars.
Fuck off, Grandpa.
No, we're not going to do the houses and cars because I showed all that. Although there was some drone footage I didn't show, which is very, very pretty and very nice, but you all see enough of that, you know. So let me do the phone.
I just look at my uncle's house when I want to see a house I can't afford.
Let me see. Let's see if I got it.
I think it's valued at just under 4 million now.
Brenda said it was me. Dang it.
What are you eating?
While he's
Vaughn?
clicking around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cutie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cooties and halos. I love these stupid things.
Yeah, those.
I'll eat them all day. I eat them so much they're bad for me, technically.
Yeah.
Because there's all that citric acid and all the sugar. Right. technically, they're bad for you. In the numbers I eat them, okay, according to people. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I could eat that, or I could eat candy. Make up your mind.
Yeah,
so something's going in the yapper. You know, I'm either going to eat candy or I'm going to eat these things. So well, these are just good, and they got them so genetically engineered to this point where you get the no seeds, you get the peel off in one piece. The peels just fall off these damn things.
Yeah. You hear the sound.
We got down to a science. I wish you could get people that well engineered.
So what is it? A tangerine or a clementine?
Yeah.
Or a satsuma?
I think it's some kind of hybrid, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's a mandarin. I don't know. I'm gonna find out now. Not jazz.
Like a tangelo or a tangerine.
No, Tangelo's here, I think, aren't they? Let's see here. Yeah, Bill, what are these? You should know. You live in Florida.
What? What the hell does that mean? What are you talking about?
Oranges.
Huh?
Oh, mandarins.
Oh, tangerines, tangerines is
mandarins.
Oh, it's
well, I said it's some kind of hybrid.
Oh, mandarin,
a satsuma.
Yeah.
A mandarin,
mandarins.
A clementine.
It's a cross between a mango and a tangerine. I mean, I don't know. What is? I don't know.
Yeah, it's some kind of hybrid. You know, you get bigger ones because some of those mandarins are tiny, right? I hate those damn things. They're so little, you know. And then you get oranges are great, but they, sometimes they can be a pain in the ass to peel, right?
Yeah.
Well, then
these things, man. No, I'm just saying these things.
If you're getting a pain,
one piece peel every time.
Hey, we got Johnny Drone Flyer.
I think it's probably a satsuma.
Mandarin. How do you spell it? Oh man, there's a mandarin. Oh, there's a mandarin and a tangerine. I bet you it's a cross between those.
Yeah,
that's what I just said.
I didn't hear it because I was looking. Yeah, mandarin's just an orange. Yeah. Yeah, there's a clementines.
Satsumas.
My clementine.
I looked up mandarin. Spell that. Let me see that package again.
MANDRINE.
I'm backwards, but it's mandarin with an E in it.
That
I'm
is.
Mandarin
guessing
as
it's
in the Chinese.
Mandarines. Mandarines.
Yeah, you
or
put an
maybe
E
it's
on the end
partly
of Mandarin
Mandarin
as in the
and
Chinese
partly
people.
tangerine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hybrid. You know, they took the best parts because there's not a single seed in these bad boys. Period.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
never gotten a seed in these at all.
I've had those. Those
No.
are really good. My faves. My sister gives me a
I eat them
bunch.
all day long. Yep.
Yeah. I usually, when I get a bunch, I eat one a day.
Apparently, Google doesn't know what the hell that is. I can't find it. That's interesting. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mandarin.
This particular brand is
Halo.
Bee Sweet Citrus. No, they're not Halos or Cuties. I thought they were. I just snagged them when I was walking through the store.
Oh.
You know, I go, oh look, they were buy one get one bag for $1. So I bought 2 bags.
Oh, cool.
I like the Halo ones though. Typically, I'm with you, Art. The Halo ones or the Cuties, either one. Cuties tend to be kind of smaller though, so I like the Halo ones probably.
Yeah,
better.
Halos are a little better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Judy loved the Halos.
Yep.
I used to get them for them all the time because she just loved that stuff.
Yeah, oh my God, they're so damn good. The only downside with Halos is when you get them, eat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't leave them hanging around the house too long.
Yeah. They'll start to spoil.
It'll be a good movie, Warren.
Yeah.
Cocaine kangaroo. Everybody get down as a cocaine kangaroo.
That's probably why my sister gives them to me. Because she knows they'll start rotting. Ah.
Well, they don't last long. You gotta get them gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here you go. One video.
Cocaine kangaroo. That's a good one.
Mm.
There she is.
Cocaroo. Uh-huh.
All right, that was her. That was it.
Okay, that was it. We didn't see anything.
We didn't see anything, Bill.
It was
Really?
awesome.
Oh, I shared the
up.
wrong.
Sharing the
I
wrong
shared the
screen.
wrong thing.
Yeah,
shared
thank
it.
God you only shared
Yeah, we're
that.
watching
It
this
was awesome.
video.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're seeing ourselves.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Hold on.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, just us.
Nothing.
Yep.
That's just us, y'all. Nothing.
All right, let me fix it. Sorry.
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 I'm sorry.
There it is. There
Come
it
in
is.
inside.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ballerina. Not that one. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
That's all I'm showing.
Woo!
Really?
Yeah, why should I
You
bother
can
you
just
guys?
all drool over these high school girls for a minute.
You guys are not interested. I just, what?
We're super interested.
High school girls?
He totally caught that. That's pretty funny. He has a delayed reaction. Woo. Come on, I want to see about 50 white girls in a row.
Why are you assuming they're all white? That's
Okay. Who's got what money? I got $500.
there were
At least
there were quite a few.
9 out of 10 are white. Okay, I'm excluding Indians. Okay, I'm excluding
Indians in there. There was quite a few.
I'm excluding Indians.
People I couldn't pronounce their last name, and there were African American girls in there too.
I'm sure there's some Africans, sure. But I'm excluding Indians because even the race baiters don't include Indians. So I'm excluding Indians. They're not part of the subject.
Yeah, and that
I guarantee you that 9 out of 10.
How do you not? They're like a third of the population, or at least 25% of the population of the entire planet. How do you not include them?
When they're talking about race relations in this country, they exclude East Indians and whatnot.
Oh, East Indians.
I'm not saying it's justified. I'm saying they don't. They don't exclude. They don't include them in the conversation.
You know why?
And that's not right.
Because they're
because they're rich. Because they're rich. That's why.
A lot of them own businesses. They come here. They work hard.
They tend to be rich. Yeah, so they don't fit the narrative, baby. They don't fit the narrative. You know.
It's true.
What's the mark?
The East Indians were Dutch.
Yeah. The East Indian Trading Company.
Sorry, they were Dutch.
The East Indies.
Dutch.
Were they Dutch?
Dutch.
Aye.
He lives closer to Holland, so I guess he could say whatever way he wants.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, okay.
those Dutch, the Dutch,
Sounded
they had
a bit Scottish,
these
actually.
statues, and they were called Dutch bags.
Dutch.
Dutch.
Can't even call it Holland anymore. It's got to be the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Regardless,
you can't
everybody from
have
India.
those.
Then how about that? Everybody from India.
West
But,
Indies.
Yeah.
Pick an Indie.
West
World.
Indies. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I don't care. Anyway, the Indians. Yeah. They don't count them because they're one of the richest populations in this country by percentage.
But they're
Oh.
dark. They're dark.
Per capita. Yeah, well, yeah, but they don't count, man.
I mean, they call our vice president racist, and he wants to have nothing but white babies. Who is it that said that about him? Something about increasing the number of white babies, and his babies are brown. His wife's Indian.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, you're talking about JD Vance.
Yeah, our vice president is what I led.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you just said the vice president. Okay, I didn't catch it at first.
No, there was some commentator. I think she was actually a senator. She said something ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, they all say ridiculous shit. It's so annoying. But you know what? I don't agree with that anyway. I don't give a shit what color the babies are. We shouldn't be subsidizing people to have babies. I'll never agree with that.
Said he was.
I don't give a shit who proposes it. I don't care who proposes it. I don't care what color the babies are. We should never subsidize people to have children. That's ridiculous. The earned income credit is bullshit. All of it. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
I don't know.
We
They
should never
complain-
subsidize people to have
They
kids.
want people they want population growth to fill the jobs, man. I mean, without babies, there's
Right now,
there's
we're almost in a reverse cycle. So
Yeah.
I know. Fix the economy. Make it easier for people to rise up the social ladder or the socioeconomic ladder, and they'll have more kids.
Got a
How about
president-
that?
got a
How
president-
about clean up the crime and all that kind of
got a
BS?
president
People will have more
got a
kids.
president working on all of that.
yeah,
Well, I'm just saying, but paying people to have babies isn't the way to go. That's just my opinion. That's just another form of government overreach, in my opinion. That's just another subsidy. That's just another, you know what I'm saying? I can't go both ways. I'm a libertarian. I'm for small government, and I want the government out of my life as much as
for small
possible.
government,
And paying
too.
people to have babies is a form of government intervention in
I
what it
always
is.
looked
No.
at it is that these
No.
tax benefits to them is because of how unaffordable. I mean, how difficult it is to afford to have a family, and are giving them a break for that reason. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Don't do it then.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, don't do it,
I
man.
gotta spread my seed and improve the genetic quality of my
Yeah,
country.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't go out and buy a Corvette and then complain that I can't afford it. Don't do it.
A lot of people do that. That's humble brag. They'll talk about how expensive.
And
it
good
is
for
to
them.
own- how expensive it is to own a particular vehicle or jewelry or purse or whatever. This is humble bragging.
In any case, I don't. If I'm going to be on
That's
one
right,
side
Don.
of the
Don made
argument,
a very
always.
good point, Mr. Libertarian. Wait a minute. Wait, there it is. We're not paying them anything. Just letting them
Bullshit.
keep more of the money.
Who's
That's
the
not-
hood
no,
rat
Don,
here?
That's not true. Earned income tax.
Look at
It's absolutely
$8
not
or $9, $10,000
I had
a year.
There was a couple that worked for us in St. Lucie Lanes, had all these kids, and they were getting back between $6,000 and $8,000 a year. And I'm telling you right now, they didn't pay in anywhere near that. They were getting back
No,
more
absolutely
than
not.
They're getting paid back more than they paid in their tax return.
Way more.
Yep.
I would be okay with them keeping whatever they paid in. I'm on board with that.
Sure.
If they're low income and they got a couple kids, you know what? Okay.
and
But
that's
not
usually what
getting
the
back
earned income
more
is.
than you paid in. Yeah.
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 No, I'm like I said, I'm always going to fall on that side of it where I don't want the government out of our lives as much as possible. I don't give a shit what the topic is.
Yeah, and looking at it that way too, paying to have babies is just as bad as paying for abortions. The government shouldn't be doing either one.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be involved, period. If that's what you believe, then you got to believe both sides of it. You know, it's a ridiculous premise, and I don't think it's a good idea. Once again,
but I don't think that we got off topic though. I don't think that that's what he was proposing. I'll have to look it up and see what that was all about. But I don't think it had anything with the earned income tax.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think.
No. It's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing. It's another incentivization for them to have children, and I'm like, no.
Well,
if you can't afford to have children, don't have them. Period.
You could be in China and have nothing but boys, and that could be a law. That's just
there you go.
Scary.
No, just sell them to the factories again. Just start selling them to the factories if you don't want them.
No controversy.
Just grow up in the factories.
Yeah. You know, when I monetize my car, you gotta read all these things. Any controversial topics discussed in your No. Go ahead.
No, not at all.
Go ahead, monetize.
No.
It's sort of like Oliver. More, please. You know, like
I'm just saying.
Workhouses like Oliver.
You know, they can work in the factories and stuff. You know, maybe they can mine cobalt.
You know, and
or something.
You know, all these millionaires that end up going bankrupt, put them in a workhouse for a while till they pay it off.
Yep.
No, I can think of better things to do with Asian women. I'm sorry, than shipping them off to mines and like that. You know, be miners.
I say Asian women. I'm talking about kids.
Well, I know, but in China you can have male kids, but they actually had laws. You couldn't have a female kid. They had to be aborted. Forced abortions on females. Yeah.
And they're only allowed 2, period.
Yep.
That's it. Now they didn't. The females were. I don't know if it was a law. It was just a practice because females.
Right.
Females were useless in workplaces.
It was a practice, I believe. Hey, Don. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. That would be like if I go into the restaurant and order a $10 steak, and then they give me $15. You know, that's the difference. That's the difference. Giving me a discount on a meal is one thing. You know, giving me more money than I paid for the steak isn't something else. If I paid $10 for the steak and they gave me 15 back, that's what earned income. That's what earned income credit is.
Yeah. Well, they're
yeah, that's what earned income credit is. They pay in $5,000 and they get $10,000 back at the end of the year.
Yep. Our money.
Yeah.
Yep. It's BS.
BS.
It's non BS. You know.
Shit.
Social contract with flaws in it. Nah, it's all just annoying. That's all to me. But like I said, that's my mindset on all of this. It's always going to be that way. I want the government out. I don't want them subsidizing companies. I don't want them subsidizing the people that have babies. I don't want them subsidizing anyone. Period.
Yeah,
including foreign countries.
If they're not subsidizing abortions, which I'm pro-life, but that's irregardless. If they're not subsidizing the one, they can't subsidize the other.
Irregardless. He said irregardless.
He did it.
What a bumpkin.
What
a bumpkin.
What'd I say?
You say irregardless or just teasing it.
What a bumpkin. I just wet myself.
What a bumpkin.
That's not a word, Lloyd.
What word did I use?
Irregardless.
Irregardless.
I did? I didn't know I used it.
Yep, you sure
People
did.
use that word all the time. It doesn't matter.
Perspective.
Yeah.
We're just teasing.
I don't remember. That's the sad thing. I don't remember saying it now.
Irregardless.
Out of the video.
Play it back.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to.
It's irregardless. You did
You
it.
can do it right now. You got a tablet going? Just go back.
Yeah, I could check it over on my. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't even. That's funny. I don't even remember doing it. You know, that's the sad thing.
I used to say that when I was a kid a lot because I'm a hood rat. So we used to say that a lot in our family, irregardless and whatever. And I broke myself with the habit.
Because I know it's regardless, not irregardless, but I don't even know where I heard that from. Where I, it's probably, sometimes, I have this bad habit because my dad was from Arkansas, Missouri, so he was a hillbilly. Whereas my mother, she was from Colorado, so she was sort of snooty. And then I married a hillbilly girl, and that's really screwed up my whole. And she had her own way of talking, so it really screwed up the way I speak sometimes. That's why I sound like a hick.
Like a heat.
Yeah, like a hick.
They might make it a word at some point. Akira shows right. Who knows? They might make it a word. They made ain't a word. You know what I mean? So at some point, they might decide that irregardless is a word.
Thank you, Michael. He writes up, irregardless, we know what Lloyd meant.
We do. Everybody knows what it means. Just like ain't. Everybody knew what it meant, even though they didn't recognize it as a word.
Oh,
everybody knew what it meant.
I used to get in so much trouble for that. My mother and my aunt were both, language snobs, and you had to, speak properly. Boy, I get in so much trouble. Oh, you're gonna play it back for me, aren't you?
I don't want them subsidizing people that have babies. I don't want them subsidizing anyone. Period.
Yeah,
including foreign countries.
If they're not subsidizing abortions, which I'm pro-life, but that's irregardless. They're not subsidizing the one. I remember it now. I did say it. Yeah, I damn sure did say it. And now, after I've watched it, then I remembered. Oh yeah, I did say it. But you guys started laughing at it. Like, what the hell were they laughing at? I don't remember saying it.
Yeah, we were all like, me and Bill were both like,
yeah,
what words were you talking about that became words? Like the word ain't became a word.
Yeah.
We used to criticize people that use the word ain't and then they put it in the damn dictionary, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, now it's in the dictionary. Yeah.
Well, isn't hot too in the dictionary now?
No.
Yeah, I used to.
I doubt it. Not yet.
No, and I know you're enamored with that young girl, but no.
Bougie probably is in the dictionary already.
Bougie is.
Is it
Bougie
in there?
Bougie.
Oh God, Merriam-Webster, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're getting all hood on us, yo. Yeah. Thought's probably in the dictionary.
That's in there.
It's like our living constitution.
Thought is?
Huh?
Is thought in the dictionary? Thought. THOT means that hoe over there.
I don't believe so.
You never heard it? Yeah, you're not black.
I don't know.
No, it's a word that refers to that hoe over there. Thought.
Yeah.
That hoe over there. No, I don't think that's going to
over there. Yeah.
I'm feeling it's not going to make it.
Thought. I think it's in the dictionary already. Wouldn't surprise me.
I bet you booty's in there.
Booty is a word.
Oh, booty is a word when it comes to like treasure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But is booty in there as a
booty?
One of the definitions is you're talking about someone's body. Is it in there?
No, I got a better one. Is badunkadunk in there?
Badunkadunk.
Badunkadunk.
If it is, I'm going to start speaking German.
Badunka. On das Lebens und das Leibens.
I'm leaving English. If badunkadunk, I'm leaving English.
I'm out. Deuces. Deuces probably. Deuces is probably in there. Deuces, yo. Yeah. Girl, that girl's so fabulous. Yeah, whatever. Thong is in there, I'm sure. And that was not a thing until until
somebody made it. Somebody created a thong, I guess, and then it became. No, thong is probably in there for other. Thong is named
thong
after.
is Australian footwear.
Yeah, no, a thong is. Yeah, I think it was already a thing.
Oh, is that a flip flop? Is that what you guys call flip flops?
Yeah.
Oh,
when I was a kid, they were thongs, and thongs underwear hadn't really been, except maybe for strippers or something. But yeah.
Well, Moses was making them for you though. That's G-strings though. Actually, G-strings are stripper underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thongs
is
Germanic, Old English, thwang, zwang, became thong. Old English, thong of Germanic origin, of course, related to the German zwang, compulsion. Compare with wang, Whang. Or Wong, I guess. Something Wong.
I was thinking the same thing, Bill.
Compulsion.
That's a
That could be a
punchline.
German
joke.
word. Yeah.
I have a thong for this drink.
Yeah. I have a thong for you.
It was what Shirley
I
Temple.
got a thong for thongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what Shirley Temple used to sing.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
She used
Rubber
to
ducky?
sing a thong.
Sing a thong, yeah.
See.
Thing a thong.
Thing a thong.
Thing a thong.
Don't besmirch
Animal
that great
crackers in
American
my
Shirley
soup.
Temple.
Soup, yeah.
Monkeys and wabbits loop the loop.
Mm-hmm.
What did she
Other
do in
than-
Congress? Does anybody know? Did she actually? It feels like she had some bills that she
No,
She
she
was
was
an
an
or whatever.
ambassador.
She was an ambassador.
Was
not
she an
a,
ambassador? I thought she was in
Yeah.
Congress
She was
at
an
some
ambassador.
point.
no.
No, she was an ambassador.
Yeah.
Shirley Temple Black. Let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Who is she ambassador
I
to?
thought.
I can't remember.
England.
No.
No.
Some small country, probably. Some tiny ass country like Zimbabwe or something.
Oh, Luxembourg.
Lithuania, yeah. Luxembourg. Yeah. Luxembourg.
No.
Let me see.
What's that one that starts with the M? Mallorca?
Mallorca.
Mallorca? Yeah.
Spanish island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, 1,000 people?
Moldova.
There's probably more than
Moldova
that,
is-
but I'm just saying.
It's
Moldova. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the movie Knight's Tale, what was the name of the country that he was from, or claimed to be from?
Oh. Who, Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger, yeah.
Yeah.
When he was playing it, yeah, he's pretending to be a knight from somewhere.
Oh, and he picked some rinky dink. I think they just made up a country. to be
Okay,
honest.
so Shirley Temple Black was a Republican, by the way. Ran as a conservative Republican, as a matter of fact. She lost in California, Republican Party.
Ran for what?
Congress.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. All right. Temple became active in California Republican Party. In 1967, she ran unsuccessfully in a special election in California's 11th congressional district after 8-term Republican J. Arthur Younger died of leukemia. She came in the open primary because Republican came in second with 34,500, blah, blah, blah. Then after all that, apparently Henry Kissinger heard her talking about, let me see, foreign services, because Henry Kissinger overheard her talking about Southwest Africa at a party. He was surprised that she knew anything about it. She was appointed as a delegate to the 24th United Nations General Assembly. That's pretty cool. And then President Richard Nixon and the United States named her. She became the United States ambassador to Ghana.
Ghana.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was not that far off. I'm just kidding. It's a whole nother continent. Isn't it?
That was by President Ford, actually.
Ford.
And don't
You're
drink.
right.
Don't drink the water there. You might get gonorrhea.
Wow, he sits on these the whole time, just waiting for somebody to say something.
He's sitting on something. And then let me see. She was
The
appointed.
name of that country that Heath Ledger was from was Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein. I knew that.
Liechtenstein.
Yeah.
I missed
Thank
the
you,
place,
Don.
but
I appreciate that.
I could have told you that. That one I knew. I love that movie. She was appointed first female chief of protocol of the United States, by the way, July 1st, 1976.
Aha. That's wrong. Von Liechtenstein was his name, not where he was from.
Liechtenstein is a place.
Don just corrected. Yeah, but Don just corrected himself. He said his name was Liechtenstein. Although Gelderland.
Gelderland.
As in he lost his dick.
Yeah.
or gold land. Or money land.
He's right. Yeah. Gelderland. Very good. You're so smart. I'm going to watch that movie again just because we're talking about it.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Gilderland. Okay, Gilderland. Yeah,
That's a fun movie.
Yeah, that would make them Moneyland. Moneyland.
Yeah.
Geld is money in German.
Mhm.
So, unless you're gelding.
it is a good movie.
Why would Dominic's
we don't
eyes
wanna know
glaze
about
over?
that.
Because we're talking about Kissinger, Shirley Temple Black,
Yeah.
and Nixon.
No, I think it was the
You had to Google it.
art joke that made my eyes glaze over.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea, yeah.
Liechtenstein.
Or
to
she
remove
said,
beer.
I'm gonna go over there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Animal crack.
A Knight's Tale makes you cry?
Why?
Remind me, what happens at the end of A Knight's Tale?
Oh, he
Does
ends
he
up
die or
becoming a knight.
something?
No.
No. The actor
Yeah.
does, but that's several movies later.
Yeah.
No, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't remind me. You know, it's so funny, like people that die that you think would have a lengthy career, like Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
You know who I liked was Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
I liked
Brandon
him
Lee,
in The
yeah.
Crow. I thought he was
He was
he
good.
was in
Yeah.
one or two other movies too. I thought he was pretty good, you know?
No, he was
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. It almost makes you think.
There's a curse on certain families. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
Bruce
you
Lee. Yeah.
sold your soul to the devil to become famous.
Mm.
The tragedy takes you away.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I like that movie. I don't know why it makes him cry. That movie's funny. I like the movie because it's funny and it's fun.
I liked it.
It is a fun movie.
with Queen playing "We Will Rock You."
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they had modern music.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
They were combining that old, Middle
Old
Ages
stuff, yeah.
dancing, and they were,
Yeah.
the rock music was it was good. It was just good. It was
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
gal he was after, she wasn't bad looking
was
either.
fine.
Nope.
African. She was fine though. Very fine.
Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, Pee Wee Herman went too soon.
Yep.
I like movies that they want to do that. They want to have inclusion, and they'll have like King Arthur's Court, and there's black people there. Like, I'm sorry, but they weren't there.
Yeah, I got in an argument with somebody about that.
They
not
weren't
too
there.
long ago.
They weren't in England.
Ridiculous.
They were just not there. You know.
Yeah.
When I start
not-
seeing every other person be white in Wakanda, then I'll co-sign half the people in Asgard being black. I was like, come on, get out of here, dude. It's just so annoying.
I'm not saying there wasn't
so
there wasn't
fake. That's
black
what I don't like
royalty
about it.
back then. There was black royalty all over the place, but they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? It's just an
Yeah, because the time of Arthur was what,
inclusion
like
bullshit for movies. You know. It's crap.
Mhm.
I think Arthur was like in the 600s.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride is another one. I don't know why I just thought of that, but there's another one of those movies like that where you just go, man, that's a good. There's something about that movie. It's just fun. It's really don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fun.
It's just a good.
It's just a fun movie.
It's entertainment. What movies are supposed to be entertainment,
That's right.
It was entertaining.
not a political statement.
And that's why
Yeah,
John
exactly.
Wayne, that's why John Wayne could play Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Oof.
Because there was
Not today, he couldn't.
There were a lot of 6'4" Mongolians back then.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
white skin and drawn on. Their eyebrows were up here like this because
What was the name of that movie? Was it
apparently they were-
Genghis Khan? No, right?
Apparently they were Vulcans. I'm sorry, what?
What was the name of that movie?
What movie?
With or
The
John
where
Wayne
he plays Genghis
Khan.
Khan.
I
Was
don't
it
know.
actually Genghis Khan?
I don't know. I know he.
It
plays
feels like it had a different name.
It did. I can't remember what it is. He actually went out and he made sure he bought every copy of that was ever out there because he hated it.
You can't watch it now, I don't think. It's
No,
one of those
just-
movies that pulled.
Yeah, he went and paid for every copy that was sent to theaters. Because it's
The
before-
Conqueror, by the way.
The Conqueror, yeah.
Conqueror,
The Conqueror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Wayne, Susan Hayward. She's fine, by the way.
Yeah, she wasn't a bad looking piece.
Oh no, you should. I'm looking at the poster for this.
Yeah, she scrubbed up well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. and Pedro Armendariz. Anyway, can we watch it?
I'll go along with that Akira show. Well, Asgard is rooted in Nordic mythology. Let's be honest, right?
Mhm.
And there was a lot of brothers running around in the Norse land 3,000 years ago or whatever. Okay, it just didn't happen. So, the gods are not going to be, same thing with the Greek gods. Just not going to happen like that. And it's okay. Everyone's allowed to have their own background and their own, beliefs and whatever. And I don't think it should be monkeyed with that much, in my opinion.
Nice of you to allow it.
I think it lessens it. I really do. I think it lessens it. I think it's fake and it's forced and it's obvious, and that's why it's annoying. To me,
there are plenty of actors that could play that role that are actually that character.
And there's plenty of legitimate black stories out there that could be portrayed.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mark.
I said the Asgard were aliens.
Yeah. Well, in the Thor movies, but not in not in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Stargate.
Oh, Stargate.
What about Stargate?
Yeah. Well,
Thor,
Star
Thor
Trek
is,
too, but that was a Greek.
Thor is a gray in Stargate.
Yeah.
Thor was
Greek mythology was in Star Trek, wasn't it? They didn't have Norse mythology. They had Greek mythology. Who'd they have in there? Apollo? Was it Apollo?
Yeah.
Which one of those guys?
Apollo showed up.
Yeah, was it Apollo? Yeah, Apollo showed up. Yeah.
And then the Plutonians, where they had Kieranite was the one the mineral that gave them the powers there. And that little person, he, couldn't absorb that Kieranite, and that's why he didn't have the powers like the other folks. And that's the episode where Kirk kissed Uhura.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
Yep.
Interracial kiss on TV. Yeah.
It's possible that there were black people in the UK at the time of Arthur, because they could well have been brought over by the Romans as slaves.
You know what though? I can watch movies where it doesn't matter what race they are, and it's like Halle Berry's just gorgeous, whether she's white or black or whatever, and she could play roles that were probably predominantly played by white people. Who cares? As long as the acting is good and the movie is good, And I was just looking at this. I remember. I mean, I watched. What was it? It was a documentary, and Cleopatra came up, and I don't know who this person was, but she's a well-known something. Cleopatra was black. Don't let them kid you. Don't let them tell you any different. No, she was not.
Oh yeah.
No, she was not. She was the descendant of.
She's Greek. Yeah,
She was the Ptolemaic Empire, which was Greeks. They were descendants of Ptolemy, a Macedonian Greek general who served under Alexander the Great.
Alexander, right? Yeah. Although there's some race mixing in there, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I would say she was probably mixed, if I was guessing.
I don't know. They were kind of mating with their own brothers and sisters and cousins and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were descriptions too, and that. Go ahead, Mark.
I said the Greeks are dark, but I wouldn't have put them as black.
Yeah. Olive
No,
skin.
I wouldn't put them as black either.
Olive skin.
Olive skin, they call it, right? Yeah.
Greeks? That's not true. It depends on who the Greek region mixed with. My sister-in-law is Greek, and she's from Greece, and she's whiter than me.
Yep, there are. Yeah, especially the ones in the northern mountains.
She'll tell you. She goes, the Greeks that you see are all dark skin, have hairy arms and all that stuff. She goes, that's the Greeks here.
Yeah,
that's not the Greeks back home. And she actually said that to me. Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Oh no! You want to see her? Sure. I got a picture of her. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've heard you talk about her. I would like to see a picture of her.
Yeah, she's a pretty girl.
Any
She's a
topless
very
ones?
smart girl.
Yeah.
My brother met her when he was stationed in Germany. She was a translator. Speaks
Oh,
Oh, she
French,
was a
Spanish,
tranny.
Greek. Shut up.
that's probably true.
I think five languages that she could actually speak well enough that she could be a translator for those. You know, like my
Right.
wife could speak 7, but it's
Are you
really,
pulling it up?
really broken English. You know what I mean? Not
Right.
Right,
She
right.
could fluently speak 5 languages.
Huh?
Very smart.
But the thing about King Arthur, wasn't King Arthur pre the Roman Empire? Or was it post the Roman Empire?
Actually, I think it depends on
during,
which. It was
during-
actually written like in
And
the,
I understand it's a
no,
it's
it
a
was
myth anyway, right?
It was during the later part of the Rome. What happened was
Towards the
Rome
end.
left England. They left England, and then that's when the King Arthur saga begins because he's fighting the Vikings. He's fighting the Norse.
yeah.
Because the Norse came
Fair
in.
enough.
Norse came in when the Romans pulled out.
Got you.
and the kilts.
Yeah.
Celts, not
Celts.
kilts.
Celts.
Kilts.
Kilts.
That's what
Yeah.
Celts.
Yeah.
Plaid dresses for men. Kilts.
Yeah.
Irregardless.
Kilts.
Like,
Yeah.
Irregardless of the fact.
The Celtics.
The Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Larry Bird swooped in. You know?
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
Now he says King Arthur is fictional. Actually, there's evidence that there was a King Arthur, by the way.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
The stories are pretty damn fictional, but I'm sure quite a bit of it.
Oh yeah.
But there was
It's the original.
a powerful king called King Arthur, and he was,
Yeah.
back in the day. Here we go.
That's
Well,
interesting.
that's one of King Charles's names is Arthur. So he could have called himself King Arthur if he wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the same. He's not pulling swords out of stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know how
maybe
it
he
happened,
is.
but-
Maybe that's a hobby. I mean, I don't know.
Oh wow! What did you do? Comb your
I don't know.
beard?
One part fell over, and I go to pick it up, and it's got all this hair that was hanging off the blade. So I have to. It's one of those situations where I always say I never print two things together because it'll screw up. If all it takes is one of them to screw up, and then you've ruined the whole thing. So I have to go back and reprint both of them.
I thought you were combing your beard and
Yeah, actually, I made it. They're actually going to be beard extensions. I'm going to.
there you go.
Glue them on. So I have
beard
this,
extensions.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
There she
Oh,
is.
yeah, I hit that.
Wow,
Yeah.
she doesn't look
Yeah.
anything like Klinger.
No, that's what she looks like. There you go.
Did you say Klinger?
Very
It was
fair-skinned.
Lebanese.
And
Okay.
actually,
Yeah.
I shared dinner the next day on Sunday. We went to a Turkish restaurant because they said, and actually the owners are friends with my brother anyway, but because he does a lot of business with them. It's really close to his office. It was a very nice place, and the Turks that worked there. They were kind of dark. But there was a great mix though. There was some that were very light and some very mostly dark though.
Yep.
But all the Greeks that sat at the table were very fair skinned. They looked like Northern Italians basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you ask him about Istanbul while you were there?
Why would I do that?
Well, because I was wondering why they changed it to Constantinople. You know, they said nobody knows the answer about the Turks, so I never met a Turk I could ask.
I
The Turks changed it from Constantinople to.
It was originally
It
Constantinople.
was Constantinople.
Because of Constantine.
Yeah, and why did they change it?
ruler.
Yeah, that's what.
Because
why did they change it?
the
Represents
Turks took over that area and it became. They decided, well, we're going to name it Istanbul because they're Muslim. Because before that, it was part of the Byzantine Empire, which were
the Holy Roman Empire. Yeah.
Right. Well, no, that's not the whole. Well, they called themselves. There was a Holy Roman Empire, separate from them. Actually,
yeah.
The Byzantines, weren't they Catholic?
It didn't have the muscle. It didn't have the armies. Well, here's a table full of Greeks. By the way, just to further,
a table full. Oh my God! Hide the dishes! Hide the dishes!
Yeah.
Quick!
They're pretty fair skinned. If you take a peek.
Yeah.
Every one of them. In fact, this one,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be allowed to live there.
This guy, he reminded me of Borat. He had the accent. He was like 6'5", 6'6", real tall, real skinny. Apparently a brilliant guy. He's a geneticist and a professor at the University of Dayton, as is his wife, who's sitting next to him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, very successful people, all of them. Okay, that's that. So there you go.
Yep, there you go. Cool Cat says it.
Yeah, exactly. No business but the Turks. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Part of the Ottoman Empire after that.
Constantinople is very. How's that song go?
Constantinople, Constantinople was Istanbul, Constantinople was a long time gone. Constantinople. Why didn't Constantinople get the works? There's nobody's business but the Turks.
Putting on the Ritz.
You know, the reason they lost that empire because Constantinople stood for hundreds and hundreds of years because of its position where it was, how they could defend themselves. But aside from that, the money and the reason that they lost finally was because they sent all their armies west to try to reestablish the Roman Empire, and they were succeeding. I mean, they were recreating the great Roman Empire, but the armies were just so far away that it became a tasty treat to get all that gold and all that money and take over that, and that's what happened, and they lost their empire over it.
Yep.
They weren't bad people before they got they actually biggest live. Who was it? What was the emperor?
The Byzantine Empire.
Oh yeah, no, they weren't bad. They actually created universities and who the hell was it? Was the emperor that brought a renaissance? I mean, schools, universities, road.
The one that built that library. The super duper famous library.
The biggest library.
Yeah, the seventh wonder of the world, and then the Muslims tore it down.
Yeah, it was a shame.
He burned all the books. Burned all the scrolls, rather.
He was very
Alexandria. The Spire of Alexandria, I think.
Well, there was a library or something that was called. I can't remember, and it was one of the seventh wonders of the world.
Yeah.
There was a Hanging Gardens, the library. I can't think of the name of it. That statue that stood across the
the statue of
Once
Rhodes.
again. Yeah. And then the pyramids. There was this,
Justinian,
things, right?
His name was Justinian.
Justinian, yeah.
He was.
That doesn't mean they weren't brutal, by the way.
I don't believe that he was. Actually, he actually there was laws that he enacted that were very similar to Western laws later. Let me see. Justinian, territorial expansion, legal codification. He was the most enduring achievement was the codification of Roman law, which
Thank you, Don. The Library of Alexandria.
Which formed the basis for modern legal systems. That came out of Constantinople. He commissioned the construction of the Hagia Sophia, which I believe still exists, a magnificent cathedral that stands a testament to his reign. No, he was all right.
I was talking about the Byzantine Empire in general, not just one ruler of the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah.
Well, there were other ones. There was Constantine the Great.
Right.
Yeah.
He the founder of Constantinople, making it a new capital of the empire. He played a crucial role in the rise of Christianity. Actually.
Yeah.
Because the
Nicene Council.
Right. But that territory was originally Turkish or whatever, right?
I don't know. It was Greek Empire. It was the Greeks settled all that.
Yeah,
it was part of Greece.
He's right. Yeah, it was part of the Greek Empire. Yeah.
Alexander's empire.
Well, part of Greece or part of the empire?
Yeah, let me show you where it is.
Good.
You'll see.
Yeah, do that because I'm a little fuzzy on it right now. It's been a long time since I was in school, right? And I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, me too.
Constantinople and Istanbul is not part of Greece. today. So how the hell was it part of Greece then? I mean, I get it's part of their
Well,
empire.
it became part of the
Half the
Byzantine
world
Empire, but
was part of the Greek Empire at one point. You
yeah,
know?
and so was same with the Romans.
Right, exactly.
Italy,
So,
it's Italy, however you want to say it. Anyways,
Very
Yeah,
hard to
Italy.
say.
That's great.
Italy, where all those
Yeah.
Italians live, used to be. That was all part of Rome.
Yep.
I knew that
right.
good. I knew
I'm just
Dominic would
saying.
look up that.
London used to be part of Rome.
Yep.
Well,
You
it was part
know?
of the Roman Empire, but
Yeah.
the country of Rome was a lot bigger than just the city
Well, the
that it
Romans
is now.
named London. It was Londinium.
Yeah, Londinium. Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, I don't
And
know.
then
But
there's
that's
what
where
I'm
Arthur was
saying
raised in the
is that's
whorehouse.
because,
Yeah.
they took it over from somebody, is what I'm trying to say.
No, they didn't.
The
No, the
Byzantines?
Romans created London.
No. I'm back to Istanbul and
Oh,
Constantinople.
you're all
That's where
over
we
the
are at
place.
the beginning.
You're all over the place.
Yeah,
No, that's
he's
where we
all
started.
Greek
And
changes
people were
it.
trying to say that Istanbul was part of Greece. And I'm like, bullshit. And then
It
it's like,
was-
well, it's part of the Greek Empire. Well, so what?
Yeah, but no, here, let me show you.
Half the
Here,
world was part of the Greek Empire.
look, here's the map, and then you'll see what we're talking about. Hold on.
Alexander marched into
And it
India.
was not. The Roman Empire was bigger. Was bigger than the Greek Empire. By the way.
Yeah.
yeah. By a
Alexander
lot.
marched into India, for God's
Okay,
sake.
here you go. Here's Constantinople on this little land bridge. This is why it
Right.
was.
Where's
this is why-
Greece?
right here. This is Greece. This is the tip of Greece. So yeah, it's part of Greece.
Yeah.
It is.
What?
It was,
This
it
is
was-
Constantinople is
Greece,
part
right?
of Greece.
This is Greece right here. This whole area.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Let me
here.
get my own map. You got a
Oh,
fucked up
for the
map
love
on
of
purpose.
God.
Albania's further up to the left.
yeah.
And then
For
you
the
got
love of God.
what was called Yugoslavia back then, then was
And
broken up.
Yeah.
Cyprus is half Greek. Turkish.
Yeah, we're going back a little further than that, though. I mean,
Yeah,
when you
further
talk about
back.
Yeah, dude.
Constantinople and Rome, that's 4th century. Fourth.
Yeah.
Get a delineated map where it shows where all the countries are.
In
Because
fact, here, northern
don't
Greece,
believe
the Spartans were about here. Athens is down
Yeah.
here. Up here is Macedon, where
Yes, which
Macedonia.
became
Macedon was a
Macedonia,
country of its own. It wasn't
became
actually part of.
Yugoslavia.
It wasn't part of Greece. It was a country of its own. But
Right.
but they conquered. Macedon conquered the rest of Greece at one point.
Yeah.
But only
Gotcha.
this area.
area to the east.
You got
Is part of
Croatia
what?
as well.
Huh?
You got Croatia there too as well.
Cool.
Yeah, but those countries were, a lot of them were created after World War One.
Mm.
500.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
The League of
there's-
Nations or whatever.
I thought Croatia.
Here's another map.
I go.
Okay, these are all the different. Greece was broken up into a bunch of different city-states. There's Macedonia, there's Thessalonica, Epirus. I mean, these are all the countries that are considered Greece. By the way, Thrace, the Thracians.
Cyprus?
They used to fight these guys all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cyprus is half
Crete.
Turkish.
It is now.
Yeah.
Well, half of it is.
Yeah, but Cyprus is way over here.
Yep.
See, there's Alexandria. I'm
Here,
looking.
Thrace, Constantinople. These are all the Greek states right here.
Yeah.
And Constantinople was at
Well,
right
because
here
they
at the
took them over. I get that.
edge of
They're
Thrace.
not Greeks. who are
No,
living-
it was all variations of the same people, that lived
You think so?
in that area. Sure. And
Well, who lives there now?
the Turks,
Greeks.
I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Turks. And Turks are Greeks?
It's now
No, they're not.
no, they're not. Although there's probably a lot of Greek blood in there,
Yep.
but they're it's his.
So where's Turkey then? I guess.
It's
Next
something we eat on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Turkey. All right. Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul, is located on a triangular peninsula in Turkey. So that's part of Turkey now. Specifically between the Bosphorus Strait, the Golden Horn, and the Sea of Marmalade. It straddles the Bosphorus, connecting Europe and Asia.
Well, are Turks white or no? They're not white, right? They're like,
I believe
They're Muslim.
Arabic.
the white Muslims.
well, they
nothing to
can
do
still
with
be
each
white
other.
and Muslim. It's a religion. Yeah.
Yeah, Arabic. They're
This is
more
like Jewish people.
They're not Arabic.
Arabics, right? They're not Arabic?
No, I don't believe they're Arabic.
I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious now. Yeah, Cool Cat saying Turks are Arabs. I agree with that. They're
Very interesting.
Muslims or
Some of
Islamics.
them are Christian.
Again, that's not a race. That's not a race.
Bill, I'm gonna go now. I'm getting a little hungry, so you guys have a good show and
Yeah,
have
we will.
a great Memorial Day weekend. Except for Michael and Dominic, you'll have a.
Well, they can't have a great weekend.
Well, they'll have a good Monday. We got Monday off. It's a holiday.
Hey,
They don't have a holiday,
Yes,
so
We have Monday off too.
Monday is our spring bank holiday.
well, good for you.
Oh, look at that.
So don't forget Lloyd's show on Monday if he's going to have one. So take care, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. Eat a lot of barbecue and remember what Memorial Day is all about.
Tornado Coat bingo cards.
That's the longest goodbye I've ever. I was trying to say something for last.
I know, right?
Well, go ahead and say it.
All right, get the fuck. I'm sorry. All right, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate every minute with you. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. There's no definitive Turkish people, by the way. They have a diverse ancestry with significant contributions from ancient Anatolian populations related to the modern Greeks. They also have some East Eurasian. They also have some East Eurasian ancestry from the Turkic migrations from Central Asia. So they're all over the place. Over the centuries, intermixing occurred between Turkic groups and existing populations in Anatolia, including the Greeks, Romans, and people from Middle East, influencing modern Turkic genetic landscape and physical appearance. Some sources suggest the practice of taking slaves from area like Circassia, I don't know, Crimea, and the Balkans, which are very white, by Ottoman sultans contributed to a more Caucasian appearance in later generations. So there you go. Interesting people. They were very, very powerful. The Ottoman Empire was one of the biggest empires in the world for a long time. That's because the Romans spent all their time fighting the Iranians, the Mesopotamia. You know, there was a constant war going on between the two of them. They left themselves open to Muslim invasion, and that's how the Turks grew their empire. By the way, they were killing each other, and by the time at one point they tried to join forces, and it was too late. So that's it's interesting stuff.
Yeah, mildly interesting. That's why I asked.
Also heralding the fall of Constantinople, which we were talking about earlier.
Right, because there was a lot of. I remember when I was in Germany, and a lot of Germans had a real problem with Turks. They didn't because there was a big migration of Turks at that time. I don't remember why. There's some kind of upheaval of some kind in that area of the world, and a lot of them were migrating refugee style to Germany and different countries. And a lot of Germans didn't appreciate it.
Well, the Germans,
they weren't too happy about it at all.
Anybody coming in, they had a real problem with the Armenian refugees as well. You know, they don't like it. You know, and countries.
They should talk to their leaders.
Are critical. Countries that are critical of the United States who are trying to protect its borders are hypocrites to the 10th degree. Seriously, they'd be the first ones.
Well, no, they let them in. The public don't like it though. They were letting Turks in like hand over fist, and the general public didn't like it though. My wife used to rant and rave about it for hours.
Google what they were doing to the Armenians when they came in. This is much more recent, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the Turks and as part of the Ottoman Empire, and they were the ones that caused Gallipoli. They're the ones that killed all the Australians and New Zealanders in Gallipoli in World War I.
25 April 1915.
Johnny Turk.
Wow, look at this guy. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, they were a big player in World War One, weren't they? The Turks. If you watch
yeah,
Lawrence
yeah,
of
because
Arabia, that's what you.
Yeah, the
yeah,
Ottoman
because
Empire.
the
The
Ottoman
Ottoman
Empire.
Empire still existed. They picked the wrong side. They got the Ottoman Empire. That was the end of the Ottoman Empire. They got broken up because of World War One.
Right, right.
Them in Germany got their asses kicked. Well, fought to a landstill till they started. Their population was starving to death because they had no supplies. They had no food. They had to give up. But the Turks picked the wrong side, man, and they got broken up. And that's what we got. You got Yugoslavia and
Croatia,
Croatia.
Albania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all part of the Turkic Empire at one point. I am going to be back in a
Very
moment.
interesting.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like super duper interesting to me. You
You
know
know
what I
what-
mean?
Me too. Be back.
What's okay, Bill? What's kind of I find is one of those ironic little things. The actual coach, which the rail car in which they signed the Versailles Treaty.
Yep.
Well, I'm having trouble talking tonight. Anyways, the Versailles Treaty. 25 years later, whatever, Hitler comes along and he actually finds that exact coach, and comes in, and I can't remember, but he bought it so that they could have it, because that treaty is what actually gave rise to Hitler, because
Yep.
it put so much pressure on them that they were broke, so they quit dealing. They quit paying whatever they were supposed to pay, and they put it all into weapons and stuff. But yeah,
They're reparations.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They cease paying reparations.
yeah.
Well, the problem with revenge style reparations is, especially when they're so onerous, is that they put such a pressure on the general population that
Yeah,
and
that's that's why the Nazi Party became what it was, because they were going to fight that, and that's why he also bought. And that's actually part of the one of the coaches of the Orient Express. Like in the movies and stuff. Yeah, that was part of the it's actually called the Calais coach, which was the train from, I guess, France to Calais, or.
Look at you. Trivial Pursuit with. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Calais is a port in northern France.
France. Yep. Okay. I couldn't remember. Yeah, and it goes in. They were going to. Let's see. Where did that train? Did it go all the way to Constantinople, Istanbul? I think it did.
The Orient Express. Yeah, it went right the way down. Yeah.
Went from Paris. It went from Paris, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it went from further on than Paris, because, like, Calais is the port where you go across from the UK to France.
Yeah.
Really?
How you doing, Randy?
Welcome. Terminals and the tunnel.
Randy?
The channel.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
But like Murder on the
Mark,
Orient
have you
Express.
taken the channel?
Hey, I've never been.
Yeah, have you taken the channel?
No.
No?
No,
I meant to, and I missed out. There's something was going on the day I was around. It was right after it first opened, and then I couldn't. There was some reason I couldn't go, so I was bumming.
France, and on the hovercraft across to France.
Did you?
Did you?
I'm going to say something. Mark, I bust your chops sometimes. I love your country. I would love to visit your country. I would love to walk Hadrian's Wall. I mean, there's just so many, or at least a piece of it. I know there's not much of it left anymore.
Not a lot of it left.
Yeah, but I'd like to find some of it and just say that was just to do it, and visit London, visit this ancient land, and with so much history and like that. Love it.
Yeah.
Just because it produces people like you, I'm not going to hold that against it.
Oh wow! Wow.
Hey, I spent 3 days in London. That was it, though.
I'd love to go.
I was stationed in Germany, so every long weekend I would take some kind of trip somewhere in Europe. I've been to I went to Denmark. I went to Austria. You can get on a train. Mark, tell him. You get on a train and go anywhere in Europe, basically. You get on a bus. You can get on a bus at your house. Right? You get on a bus at your house, buy a ticket, and end up in London.
Yeah, my brother
the train.
My brother was overseas for 16 years. I've actually heard this before.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'd love to visit sometime.
Well, that was my point. Is I was stationed over in Germany, just like your brother, and it was super duper easy. You go anywhere. Got a lot of patience though. Because it's not
part of it
fast
is
going
to the countries. Don't forget, I could jump in my car now and drive up to visit you, and it's about the equivalent of leaving Athens, and driving all the way to I don't know, somewhere in North Germany.
Well, I've driven all the way down to the south of Italy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another country I'd love to go visit too. Obviously, Italy. Yeah. It's funny. It wasn't called Italy until like what, the 1800s. Italy's not an old country. It wasn't called that back.
What was it
Many
called?
different republics.
It was, it was a shit ton of different republics. Exactly. You had. I can't name a single one. And that's beautiful, huh?
Calabria.
Yeah, like Rome. Sicily and Calabria.
No, Sicily's yes, but that's a separate island. I'm talking about the boot itself was just broken up. It was a whole bunch of different.
That's Calabria.
Calabria, but you've got Venice was its own. Up north in the
Emilia Romagna.
Up north in the mountains.
Tuscany.
Tuscany.
That was a guess.
Corsica.
That's right. It's a good guess.
The Abruzzi region.
Yeah, no, they were all basically separate countries with separate kingdoms.
Right.
But they all fell under Rome. But it wasn't Italy. It didn't become Italy until like the 1800s, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, there was at one point
Stuttgart.
There was
in Germany.
The Vatican itself wasn't, was the size that it is now, but there were little areas out and around it that were part of the Vatican state.
Right. So when you say you're Italian, I mean, really, you got to go back further than that. My mother's side is Italian, but they're from the Venice area. They're northern Italians, but Venice was its own. Very powerful, by the way. Venice was one of the more powerful cities.
Thank you, Randy. 1861. Yeah.
Yep. Probably got relatives from that time period.
Caledonia's Roman name for region of Scotland. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I took a super duper slow ferry across, Mark, when I went to England, and freaking blew. It was after being on the train for like forever, and then get on a slow ass ferry.
Yeah,
slow ferry.
Slow ferry, dude.
Stay there, big fella.
Takes about 4 hours, something like that. The hovercraft.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
The hovercraft takes about 45 minutes.
Yeah, and the tunnel's what? An hour max? And if you're on the train, right? He's like, meow.
I think it's 25 miles.
I think it's a bit longer than that. Not much.
Is it?
Echo.
Yeah.
How long is the Channel Tunnel?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. The Channel Tunnel, or Uri Tunnel, has a length of 50 kilometers and 450 meters.
So about, I'm going to go 25 miles then, right?
50 kilometers, 30 and a bit miles.
30-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30-ish. Yeah, that's fair.
30 and small change probably, so I wasn't far off.
Yeah. No, you weren't far off at all. No. Yeah. I'd love to go through it now, though. I guess that train goes through there like, meow. And you're out of there. You know what I mean? That's what they say. That ferry was slow, Mark. Oh my God, Mark. Yeah. And it was all. We were there in the spring too, so the water was all. And it was just, oh my God, dude. And I'm not prone to seasickness or nothing, but I was on the edge. I was on the edge. That ferry was all over the place, dude.
31.
Felt more seasick going across on the hovercraft because it's weird. You see the sea going up and down all over outside, and you're going dead flat and straight.
Ooh.
Yeah, Genoa.
Ooh, that does sound bad. That does sound bad.
Florencia. Actually, my people are from Florence, actually. So Florencia was another.
Florence?
Genoa was another one.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the
Genoa.
map. I was looking at the map. Yeah.
Awesome ham.
Was Cattolica one of the regions?
I'm sorry?
Cattolica.
I don't know. Catonica?
No,
I get that happens when Art's talking, for a long, saying goodbye for 15 minutes.
It's
Catonica.
it's down near Naples, but on the east coast.
He's probably right. I don't know. When did Germany get all together? That was under what's his nuts, right? Starts with a B. I can't think of it right now.
Oh, before it was Bavaria.
Old what's his nuts?
It was Bavaria.
Oh, what's his nuts?
Munich, Bavaria.
That was I think the Weimar Republic in about the 1870s.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely correct.
Was it
That
80s?
sounds
So was
absolutely
it after Italy, actually? Oh.
Yeah, just a little bit after, I'd say.
Oh yeah, no, you had Bavaria, you had Prussia, all separate regions that were Germanic peoples.
Yeah, who brought
they
all
were
that together, wasn't it?
Don't forget, they were everywhere. Really, the British people today are just as much German,
Yep.
as they are anything else, as they are maybe the original Britons, Briton.
Prince Philip was Greek.
Bismarck.
You got
Thank you, Akira Show. Bismarck.
Think of his name.
Bismarck brought it all together.
You got a lot of Celts in there in England. I mean, it's a blend. They're not, and certainly a lot of influence from Holland, Norway, Sweden.
Yeah. Vikings. Yeah.
The Gauls, the Romans, the Germans.
They were all there. I mean, but back in the original day, there was a primitive original people that were considered the original Britons, but nobody knows where they came from. They could be an offshoot of another Germanic tribe, or possibly even a Celtic tribe, because they're still there.
Or Nordic.
In
Nordic.
Scotland and Ireland.
They were always running around. Yeah.
They were later. They were later. They came later.
You can tell a lot from the names of the cities. Like anything that's got a Chester in it or something like that is usually Roman. The ones that end in BY, like Grimsby and Whitby, they're from the Viking.
That's interesting.
What was the one that ends in ton? Which was another type of. Who the hell were they? The ends of the names of the towns have something to do with the name town or village in the country where they're coming from.
Roman London, despite evidence of scattered Brythonic, the original Britons, settlements in the area, the first major settlement was founded by the Romans around 47 AD.
What the Romans ever done for us?
About 4 years after their invasion in 43 AD. It only lasted until about 61 AD when the Iceni tribe, led by Queen Boudica, that's where the word booty comes from, stormed it and burnt it to the ground. The next planned incarnation of Londinium prospered, superseding Colchester as the principal city of the Roman province of Britannica in 100 AD. Yeah. And then there was an Anglo-Saxon and Viking period of London, the collapse of Roman rule when they left. The walled city of Londinium was effectively abandoned because they left. Although Roman civilization continued, they lived like Romans at that point. There was a Roman-run government, Roman-style government anyway. Continued until St. Martin in the Fields, blah, blah, until 450. About 500, here come the Anglos. Anglo-Saxon settlements known as Ludenvic developed, slightly west of the Old Rhine. I love this stuff. It's very, very, very interesting. The Vikings applied Danelaw over Eastern Northern Europe, Middle Ages.
Ming the Merciless.
And then the Battle of
I
Hastings. And they came over from France, and they were allegedly French, but they weren't really. They were Norman. Whatever.
Franks.
Common conquests. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
I wish Romans didn't do us a favor, because that would be a great place to party. Because back before the Romans came in there and tamed them all you Englanders were pretty. Wow. You guys had a lot of really cool rituals and whatnot. Yeah, midsummer stuff, and everybody got to bang everybody kind of stuff. That was kind of sweet.
1,000 years of Woodstock.
Yeah, I'm saying. We got all just vacation there. Man.
Yeah, that was the Druids.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the
baby.
Druids, yeah.
The Romans ruined it, jerks, with their morality and whatnot.
Morality? Romans? Yeah.
The Romans didn't have
prudes.
morals.
They what?
The Romans didn't have morals. Hell, they had more orgies than anybody else.
Well, how is that immoral? Are orgies immoral? Please explain that to me.
The Romans had their own sense of morality.
It was perfectly natural and normal. Did you know the Spartans, some of the most best trained and vicious fighters the world has ever seen, they were gay. They were actually openly gay.
They created the first swingers clubs. Yeah.
Well, the Spartans were also pedophiles. They were having sex with young boys. So whatever.
Gay sex with
whatever.
Boys, whatever.
Young boys.
You got to toughen them up, ready for battle.
Yeah, whatever. The only thing that's getting toughened up was their anuses, man.
Well, okay. That counts.
Bastards. All right.
That must be where they started using the term, talking about people that like that. They call them assholes,
Well, they can fight, though, those fuckers.
Yeah, they can fight. Well, there's a theory about that homosexuals can make very vicious fighters because they're not looking to procreate, because they've lost the possibility of procreation. So it makes you more willing to die, apparently.
Well, I think
I don't know. That's the.
I'm not saying that they
That's
were
a
all gay, but open homosexuality was totally accepted.
They're probably bisexual, is my opinion.
Oh yeah,
they
absolutely.
were. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they were situationally gay.
They had to be. They had children. They
right. They were situationally gay, like prison gay. Prison gay. Almost got you again. Prison gay. When you got nothing but dudes around,
I ain't gay. I pitch. I don't care.
Yeah. Hey, boy. Exactly. They were prison gay. You know what I mean? It was situational.
Look, this is where we're going.
We're right off track here, I tell you.
We have gone down the rabbit hole.
We've lost it.
Yep, right down that rabbit hole.
We still on?
I've seen Gladiator. Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on, Dominic. They haven't shut us down yet.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Everybody has their own sense of morality, is what I'm saying.
Right.
People that were eating other people felt that it was moral. You know what I mean?
Sure.
As far as they were concerned.
They thought they were honoring the dead by ingesting them and bringing them in. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you not have the TV series I, Claudius?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Oh,
Caligula was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of evidence that they totally exaggerated how fucked up that guy was, by the way. That Caligula wasn't nearly as bad as they made him out to be. And that a lot of those stories were made up because of the way they murdered him.
Yeah.
Nero was worse, wasn't he? Nero was the worst.
Same thing with him. None of these guys were allegedly, according to some historians, he wasn't fiddling while Rome burned.
Well, that's fake. Everybody knows that.
Of course. But there was all kinds, and if you look at the history of these histories were written 100 years later, 200 years later, 300 years
Right.
later, by their enemies, by Greeks, by whomever. Just they're the blame
Well,
for the fall. But I don't know.
it's
Somebody,
just like Richard III. He supposedly killed his nephews in the Tower of London.
yeah,
All those stories were written by after
yeah, like
after Henry
500
VIII.
years later, like way, way, way later.
Yeah, yeah, because Henry VII defeated Richard III at Bosworth Field, and he had his historians write. Even under Queen Elizabeth, Shakespeare, a lot of the stuff he wrote isn't necessarily what he wrote. It was something that was done by like Thomas More or somebody like that
Right.
as propaganda for the Tudor reign of England.
That doesn't mean that there isn't some,
Some semblance of
spark
truth,
of
yeah,
truth in there,
yeah,
from what they said. But they would just take it and they would extrapolate it,
right,
extrapolate
right, yeah.
and into crazy stories. And let's face it, you've all,
The victors
as
write the
kids,
history. That's right,
we
Michael.
played that game where you whispered something in somebody's ear, and by the
Oh
time
yeah,
No.
it came out,
Telephone or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it was right. It was totally
yeah.
not even close. Well, we're talking about a couple thousand years or longer. You know what I mean? So
Right,
these
right,
stories
yeah,
have
right,
really, really, really changed.
right.
The victors write the history.
Yeah, and
Yep.
They do.
yeah, exactly. Because if the Nazis would have won, we would have been the bad guys.
Oh yeah,
We would have
yeah.
been the bad guys. We would have been the guys that aggressed
I'm pretty
them by
sure a lot of the
sending
Nazis
weapons and stuff over to get involved in their situation. We would have been the bad guys. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
No,
they
no,
blamed us anyways.
what you're saying might be true, except for the fact that a lot of Nazis knew they were the bad guys. They knew they weren't good guys. I'm not talking about Himmler and Hitler and and all the top brass. I'm talking about his generals. They knew they weren't good guys. I mean, when things went, not from what they did on the battlefield, because what they did on the battlefield, they were professional soldiers. But what they were doing to the people of Germany, Jews especially, they didn't agree with that, but they couldn't say anything because you and your family would be dead.
Yeah,
You know,
or sent to a concentration camp.
I hear what you're saying,
basically
but
dead. No,
Basically
they,
dead,
they,
they
yeah.
would have
they
won.
tried to kill him several times. It just
Well, that was partially because of how the war was going, how things were going, not because
Not
he
ju-
was murdering the Jews.
not just that. There's a lot of,
You know what I mean?
even Rommel was his greatest general, and he ended up committing suicide. They were not necessarily Nazis. They were professional men, soldiers,
Right,
I
right.
get that.
and Germans.
Yeah, because a lot of them had been soldiers in World War One.
Are we the baddies? No, I'm just saying because look at us, for example. Look at us and our eradication of the American Indian in this country for the most part. We don't sit around and commiserate about that 24/7, right? Or about slavery or whatever. I know it's still talked about or whatever, but what I'm saying is that
It's not the
if they
same
would have
thing.
won the war,
That's a couple
if they
hundred
would
years
have won the
ago.
war, they did some atrocious shit. Well,
Yes, yes.
so just because it was less time ago.
Not the soldiers, not the generals, not the actual professional soldiers. That was committed by party members. People that were
Yeah.
they were placed in those concentration camps by the party. They were sick fucks. The sicker you were, the more successful you became. Obviously, the more you
Yeah.
hated Jews, the more you believed in his Mein Kampf. You believed in his future of genetic purity and all blah blah blah. Yeah, those are the ones that actually took those roles. But the soldiers in the field, they had no part in that. They were soldiers. If I'm a sergeant in my platoon of the German army and I'm ordered to go fight, you go fight. It's got nothing to do with those sick fucks
Right.
were doing when the Nazis were doing. They were running the party. They
I guess, but they were loading them on the trains and shit. I'm just saying, man. They were loading them on the trains.
Most of them didn't even know what was going to happen to those. They started to
Yeah.
suspect later, and that's when it started to fall apart. Yeah, they started. There was a lot of them were surrendering. Towards the end of the war.
I'm not saying they weren't against it. Don't get me wrong. There was Americans that were against slavery. There was cavalrymen when they would mow down a whole village of Indians. You know what I mean? I would assume there's some cavalrymen that didn't agree with it, right?
Of course.
You want to believe that anyway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
they go riding into this village and just start shooting and killing men, women, and children.
Now, don't forget,
I would assume there was some cavalrymen that didn't agree with it.
There was a war going on. There was a lot of reciprocal shit going on too. A lot of those cavalrymen lost family, relatives, friends to wars against those people. And don't think that the tribes didn't do the same thing to women and children.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. You're absolutely right. There was a lot of tit for tat.
That's what that was. They lost their morality because of what they were fighting, what they considered. They considered each other animals. You know.
Well, yeah. No, neither side considered the other side human.
And that can happen in more modern times. World War II, Okinawa. These people were throwing themselves off cliffs towards the end rather than be captured by the Americans because they actually believed that we were going to rape them and eat them. They actually believed these stories that were told to them. They were scared shitless of these giant white and brown lumbering Americans and what they were going to do to them. It was breaking these GIs. They weren't animals. They were breaking their hearts. They were watching these women taking their babies and jumping off cliffs to their death. You know, they didn't want to see that. They weren't fighting for that.
Yeah.
As much as they may have hated the Japs, they weren't. They didn't want that. You know. So shouldn't say the word Japs, should I? Sorry, Japanese brothers and sisters. I didn't mean to insult you.
Curious show. Yeah. No, I get it. And like I said, there's always atrocities in the past. There's always going to be atrocities in the past. No one is innocent. You know what I mean? And
war is just nasty all the way around.
War is death,
right?
You know, and atrocities. There's some that are a little worse than others. You know,
right.
Just are. I don't know that I could do it. You know, some of the things that happened to these people,
like
what happened to some of Doolittle's raid when they got captured and tortured and then tied up and thrown off ships. Thrown into the ocean. You know, I
with an anchor wrapped around them.
I would have a hard time with that. Yeah.
Right.
Because you know you're fighting the enemy. The enemy is now helpless. You won. It's like Game of Thrones. What Khaleesi was doing to all those surrendered soldiers.
Oh man, she was brutal.
No, she was asking to die. You know, somebody was going to kill her at that point because that was just she was. That's why I didn't like that season either.
The last season, man, they built her up to be this.
That she went mad, you know, like her predecessors, because that's really what that's all about. Just like
Hungarians are known for madness. Yeah.
Right. Well, inbreeding. You know, there was a lot of inbreeding there. You know.
Yep. Well, that inbreeding. Yep.
No, even the fact that she was sleeping with what's his name, the crow. There. What's his name? That was her niece. That was her nephew. You know.
Their uncle. No, wait a minute.
No, he was.
I'm thinking of another one now. I'm thinking of the other show. Sorry.
Yeah.
The House of the Dragon. I'm conflating the two. Well, House of the Dragon is a spinoff of Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard of it.
It's prequel to it.
Yeah. Prequel, thank you. But it's a spinoff of that. Yeah. I conflated it for a minute there. That's right.
That's on one of the channels, one of the streams services. I don't get
HBO. Yeah.
Is it HBO? Yeah.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's HBO. It's all right. I mean, if it was a standalone and you weren't comparing it to Game of Thrones, I think I'd like it a lot better. I think the problem with it is that you're measuring it against Game of Thrones, and I think that it's lacking. And they did a lot of that race swapping stuff too. You know, now there's black Hungarians. You know, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like
you just have to ignore that and just watch the movie, watch the acting. I guess.
Yeah. You watch the show. Yeah, but it's a decent show. It's a decent show. You know what I mean?
What I think Game of Thrones great to me, because I really liked it, was the acting. I thought the acting was fantastic, and the character building. All these characters' backstories were so filled in. I mean, you really knew who and what they all were. You know what I mean? And even if
I agree with that.
Even if they're only on for a season, you learned who and what they were. And
Rings of Power. Ugh.
That, you know, the best thing about that is that blonde is pretty cute, but aside from that, it's weak.
Oh, Rings of Power. It's really weird. Yeah, it's Rings of Power. I haven't watched it. I've watched like the reviews of it.
I think I watched the first 3 episodes of it, and it's like, wow.
I watched it and I was like, "Oh, this
Wow.
isn't really good." And then I forced myself to binge watch all of it, and it's watchable. That's about the best I could say for it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's like Lon said, if you didn't know it was connected to Lord of the Rings right off the bat, you'd go in there and watch it as a show. It was okay,
Yeah.
but
There's just so much retconning and swapping and this, that, and the other. And it's like, God damn. Just stomped all over the original story. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a lot of sense. People, the nerds, the deep nerds, going all in on Rings of Power, man. You
oh
watch some
yeah,
of the reviews, and they go on and on about, well, so and so from so and so was never going to be a blah, 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 blah.
well
They
yeah,
go
because
all in.
most of those guys have read all the books put out by Tolkien, which are
Yeah.
not just the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit. He had numerous other books, Cimarron, and
Cimmerillion or whatever it was
yeah,
called.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Something like that, though.
Cimmerillion?
No, is there a book called the Simmer something or
no,
other?
it's called
Cimaricon?
Cimarron.
I don't know if there is. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Cimarron is
Yes.
the name. I think is what it's called.
Something like
That's
that.
what I
Something
call
like
it.
that. Don can let us know. Don, what's that book
Yeah,
by
Donald knows.
Tolkien that hasn't been
Don's
touched?
busy having a
It hasn't been
discussion of
touched.
the American Indian. By the way, that's what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah.
It's just, it's just interesting about, but again, if the American Indian had chased us off the continent and they were in school on Tuesday morning, they would tell a completely different story than what we tell about this country or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying they would all, their history would be all like, yeah, we chased those white devils off our land
Yes,
and
we are.
yada yada, yeah. Cimmerian, almost close, right? Cimmerian, something like that, yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
Indians did chase the Vikings out of the country.
Yeah.
They massacred all of them. They were gone. They were incredibly outnumbered.
And then look what happened, to Captain Cook over in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
cooked.
I think didn't they cook
They
Captain
got
Cook?
cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got cooked.
I got
Medium rare. Medium rare. It's all just super duper interesting. World history is something else.
It is. It's so complicated too.
It is
Yeah.
very complicated. Anybody that tries to simplify it into like black and white or
It
right
seems
or wrong is
complicated
out of their
because-
minds.
It seems complicated because we're squishing together thousands of years of history.
Right. Yeah.
If you
Still
discussed
not really.
if you discussed 100 year or 200 or 300 years, it's not as complicated.
Silmarillion.
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 Who gives a crap? It's not even a
There's
real
not
word.
3 L's though, is there? I thought it was EN. Wait a minute.
Silmarillion.
It is EN. It's Silmarillion.
I-A-N, yeah.
EN. That's another L you got there, buddy.
It's a capital I.
Well, maybe it's Len.
Oh, is that what he's trying to do? A capital I. That's a good one. Capital I. Yeah, okay.
Oh, Silmarillion. Oh, okay. Silmarillion. Yes. Yeah.
That's how I read it.
I was close anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah,
tried
I
to
don't know.
bait you back in. Why did you leave in the first place, Don?
Yeah.
His phone died. His phone died.
Oh, so I don't
He
know.
needed to
Yeah.
charge his phone.
He's got laptops there. He's got
Yeah.
power outlets there. Can plug the
Right.
phone into the
Yeah,
wall.
I don't think-
he's in his house. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I just think I think what I disagree with most is when people try to put it in terms of right and wrong. Like this group of people are right and these group of people are wrong.
No, I don't agree with you.
And blah 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 blah. And
I
I'm
don't
just
agree with you
like,
because
nah.
here's the thing: we are all entitled to decide what's right and wrong, and what we decide is right and wrong is
It's
based
objective
on,
truth.
is based on our Western culture, and our teachings and so on and so forth, and that is the right that we're fighting for. Now they have theirs, which we find offensive, like the subjugation. I mean, because we've gone past it. Because I was just going to bring up about the subjugation of women in culture, and we did the same thing, but we got past that, and they doubled down. They'll be they kill women for trying to get an education. There's what we consider right and wrong and what they consider right and wrong, you're right, are two different things. But we could still say it was
Different
right.
things.
We could still say what we did was righteous because we believe that our cultural structure is the right one. Otherwise, we wouldn't be living it. So that's
Well, I get that, but forcing it on another group is
we're not forcing
where
shit on anything. I mean, typically,
what?
what are we forcing? Listen,
What do you mean? Right today? Maybe.
in this,
Maybe
no,
not today, but
Western culture is actually the most accepting of all the cultures that exist even today in this world. You try to be a white Christian in a lot of Middle Eastern countries right now. You're not going to live very long,
right.
you know. But they could come here, and as long as they're not hurting anybody, nobody cares. I mean, that's the difference, and that's what I consider right and wrong. We have Muslims here. We have same thing with Israel. I mean, those two diplomats that were just murdered by that fucking scumbag, excuse me, were like the girl was Christian.
No, it was the guy. I thought.
Well, he's half. His mother and father, one was Christian, one was Jewish, and she was from Kansas. They were just diplomats. And you know what? Their most recent thing that they were doing, trying to get aid for the people of Gaza. That's what they were working on. And this scumbag murdered them and chanted that crap. I mean, I'm sorry, but there is such a thing as right and wrong.
Yeah, and
as far as that's concerned, and that's fucking.
I don't know, but
there's no way to rationalize that. First of all, those murders are not going to help anybody's cause at all. Zero. If anything, just the opposite. Okay. And second,
That's an isolated incident.
And it's not an isolated incident. They're killing Jews.
No, that's one person. Bill, now hold on. Now let me get you mid rant here. Remember back in the 80s where pro-life people were bombing, flipping Planned Parenthoods or abortion clinics and killing everybody in the damn clinic?
No,
okay.
I don't remember that.
That's objectively wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't.
They were Christian.
I want to see an article. I want to see an article
pro-life.
that substantiates what you just said. That people from pro-lifers were supporting people blowing up clinics, and everybody in the clinic died. You just said that. You said they blew up the clinic, and everybody,
I said pro-lifers
killing everybody in the clinic. I don't remember anything like that. No, I really don't.
I don't either.
No, I really don't.
They bombed a whole bunch of
huge hyperbole. Come on now.
And
no real Christian or would actually support anything anywhere near that.
Oh yeah. Those are always
Christians have never supported murdering people. Is that what you're saying?
And
no, a real Christian wouldn't.
No. Not murdering in cold blood. They had wars, but they didn't. They never. The Christian religion is not based on murdering your enemy. It's love thy enemy. It's right in the damn book. I'm not saying that they're fucking.
So was the Quran. So was the Quran.
No,
the Quran believes that too.
There's chapters in the Quran that actually calls those that are not of the Muslim faith as infidels. And it entitles.
So does the Old Testament.
It entitles their leaders to call an intifada, which basically is murder all your enemies.
In the Quran?
You're either
in the Quran. I don't think.
With us. Oh yeah. I'll look that up and I'll show that to you sometime. It's definitely there.
Well, the Old Testament.
Most of it's all about peace.
Stories
most of it's all about peace as long as you're with us. And I'm not saying Muslims can't be beautiful, wonderful, peaceful people, because a lot of sects of the Muslim religion absolutely are. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't tell me that their Quran wasn't written by a warlord, because Muhammad was a warlord. He was the son of a very wealthy person. He got kicked out. Look up the history of Muhammad. By the way,
did Muhammad write the Quran?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
He
April 16th, 2024.
He created the Muslim religion. And what it was, he started out with just a few people and a few followers. He actually attacked Mecca. Mecca and Megiddo actually became part of the Muslim empire through war and conquest. And those who are for thee are with thee. Those who are not for thee are against thee. That's actually in the Quran. I'll be right back.
In Jerusalem, the Dome of the Rock. In Jerusalem, that's the rock that they say that they claim the angels came down and gave Muhammad all of the teachings of the Quran. It's also supposed to be the I think it was the Rock of Abraham, where Abraham supposedly was going to kill his son. And but anyways, it covers all the Jewish religion, the Christian religion, and the but yeah, Muhammad wrote the books. Unlike the Bible, which was written by numerous people, but it was turned into the book that it is now by Constantine in I can't remember, it's 366 or 466 at the Nicene Council, where they got together, and that's when they codified the what books are acceptable and what books aren't, what books that are considered I can't remember the word now. Why,
And again,
but yeah,
I'm not talking about people that are subverting religion to gain
r-
power. That's not
right,
what
right.
I'm talking about the origins of the religion. And Muhammad wanted it was a wealthy was wealthy. His uncle was one of the richest people in Mecca, and I forget what had happened was he started preaching that there was only one God. Okay, and he picked whatever
That's
God.
what they believe.
No, Muslims back then, the people that lived in there, were multi-theistic. He was kicked out because he preached that there was one God. That's how the Muslim religion began, around 600 A.D. or 700, right when Muhammad was running around, and that was his model. And what he did was he used that, and then and there was a lot of the region was so poor, people were starving, this and that, but he was teaching them that they could fight, and if they died, they go to heaven and paradise, and 72 virgins, and just life was so much better
Yeah,
dead
I know
than it
that.
was alive. And that's how he grew his army, and he invaded and basically murdered his uncle and his family and took over, and that's how the religion began. That's the start of the
Okay,
religion.
are we conflating Arabs and Muslims though?
I'm not conflating anything.
Because Arabs
I'm
are
talking about the Muslim religion itself.
multi-theistic,
No,
but
no, that whole
Muslim.
region was multi-theistic. They had a different god for every day of the week. You had a Sunday god, Monday god, whatever. Every day of the week, there was all kinds of
I
gods.
get that.
But his
Yeah, and
was
All
there
right,
was
I
one.
was tasked. Hang on, I was tasked. Okay, a former Marine was just recently, in April 16, 2024, bombed an abortion clinic. In
that's not right.
1991, there was from 77 to 88. There were 110 cases of arson, firebombing, or bombing. There were 29 attacks.
What
Let's
about
see,
the car bomb in California that just happened? That was
fatalities
it.
in 28 states.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
many
but I'm
fatalities?
not
How many?
going
How
tit
many?
for
How
tat.
many?
This isn't
How many?
about.
How many is actually? No, they were
I'm
all
not
wrong.
going about whataboutism here. I'm
No,
not
no, no,
going
no,
about
no, 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 no. You said
whataboutism.
they blew it up with people in it and killed everybody in it, and
They did.
that's what I don't
People
remember
were killed.
because yeah, people were killed putting out the fires. People were probably killed inside the building, but I don't think the goal was to murder people. It was to burn the building down and destroy the clinic.
So they couldn't
They
have
should have done it in the
abortion.
Because
middle of the night then.
it's all about
They
light.
should have done it in the middle of the night
I
instead of
think a
the
lot
middle
of
of
them
the
were in
day
the middle of
when it
the
was
night.
open.
A lot of them were in the middle of the night. Well, what happened is
Well, they
people,
probably were.
yeah, and firefighters would die, whatever. People would die putting out the fire
No.
and
Okay.
or
Well, there's a
well,
okay.
how many people would
There's some
die?
copium
You didn't
going
mention
on.
any numbers. You just said that there were
You if you
killed.
did you give me a chance? Did you
Go
even
ahead.
give me a chance?
How many were killed?
I'm trying to read the article to you, and you cut in with
Okay.
this explanation of how
It was
people
all
didn't
wrong.
die, and I'm full of
Everything that
shit.
every one of those actions was absolutely wrong. I'm not supporting any of
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no shit.
absolutely wrong. I'm not defending any of that
and
craziness.
that is not the
Right.
teachings of Christianity.
No,
That's
no,
a
No.
perversion of
the
it.
whole idea is you don't want the babies to die. You don't want people to die. It's about life,
Yeah,
pro-life.
Right. Right.
and here's the
There's a lot of people
irony
that
of it.
believe by any means necessary, and that's the problem.
Yeah, well, that's somebody's perversion of the religion. But here's the funny thing I always bring up is if you're pro-life,
Hmm?
that means for every life, and that includes uh,
Capital punishment.
capital punishment. Yeah,
Hmm.
because even though they're bad guys, if you believe pro-life, if you're truly for pro-life, you also have to be against capital punishment.
I'm stamping
Or how
on.
many are though?
Probably
I'm sorry,
about,
what, Mark?
I said I'm stamping on spiders.
well,
Let's bring
yeah,
the
I'm talking
Buddhists
about
on that
human
one.
life. I'm talking about
Yeah.
human life. Actually, a lot of the Catholics are, because that's the way they believe is, they're against abortions and they're against the death penalty. So they're, that's they're one of the groups that probably has the most that believe both of that as far as pro-life goes.
Potentially, I know that isn't the case across the board, though. That's for sure.
No,
There's a lot of
I'm
people
saying
that are anti-abortion, but they're not
they're not. Yeah, they're not
anti-capital
against the
punishment.
death penalty. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That the term pro-life kind of gets misused.
converted.
Yeah, because if you are pro-life, you have to be against it. You don't have to be, but if you're claiming to be truly pro-life, that's the way you would do it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm just saying it's always been a point I brought up to people.
Anyway, I wasn't saying that all the pro-Palestinian protesters in this country would shoot someone. I was just calling that guy in particular fucking scumbag.
Well, and the funny thing was,
Well,
his
yeah.
last name is Rodriguez. Like, it sounds like a real Gazan name to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the guy that
Rodriguez.
shot up that concert in Vegas. Remember that? The guy that got a hotel room and shot up that concert in Vegas.
He didn't like country
He was
music.
Anti-Trump or anti-capitalist or whatever he was. I forget what his whole dogma was, but he was basically just a fucking nut job.
Yeah.
He was a fucking nut job.
He was anti-conservative because he figures most people that listen to country music are conservatives. That's not true.
A bunch of racists and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them are nut jobs. This is my opinion. I think I hear what you're saying. Like there's radicals, period. And I think that I just don't necessarily. I read. Yeah,
no,
I don't believe that.
Talk about the Inquisition and what the Spanish did using the Bible. That was
the Crusades or whatever.
Wrong.
Yeah,
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That was there's
nobody expects it.
Nobody expects it. Bring out
Nobody expects the Spanish
comfy
Inquisition.
chair. Oh, this is quite nice.
The Salem witch hunts and et cetera, et cetera. There's plenty of
I had to throw that in.
plenty of examples of people that are quote unquote Christian doing heinous things. I'm just
David
saying.
Koresh, Jim Jones,
David Koresh.
Yeah.
That's a subversion of the actual word.
Yeah, it is a total subversion and perversion of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly want to believe that, and I might be wrong, but I don't think all Muslims are pro killing all the Jews. I don't think that all Muslims are pro.
The first thing I said,
bombing shit, and well, you said some, but in general, you're saying their culture
I didn't say that
worse than ours.
I didn't. I'm talking about the actual words that are in the Quran, passages that are in the Quran.
I understand.
I wasn't.
And there's passages in the Old Testament that are
the Shias versus all the different sects of the Muslim world and how they carry themselves, and and how some of their leaders call intifadas and tell them that,
intifada. Yeah,
the more people you kill, the faster you'll go to paradise. No, we're centuries past that horse shit. It should not be. It should not exist in today's world.
Yeah.
I love
I
what
don't.
He said, "You're dead." Does that mean I get my 72 virgins?
Who even likes virgins that much? Is what I want to know. I've never enjoyed virgins.
Yeah, I know you're already dead, so it's not like you're going to get a disease from them or something. Hey, give me 72 sluts any day. I'm already dead.
So they have two whores.
Did they say they were going to be female virgins?
Oh wow, yeah. Now I want 72 porn stars. You know what I mean? I'll strap on a suicide bomb right now if I know that afterwards I'm going to get 72 porn stars. Now I'm in, baby. Now I'm down. Let's go. Let's go. 72 porn stars. Now we're talking. Shit, 5 porn stars. 2. Shit, 2 porn stars. But I get what you're all saying, and you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from their perspective, though. That's what started the whole conversation for me. It's from their perspective, as far as they're concerned, we're the evil ones and they're the good ones. That's all I'm saying.
Of course, they tell us that we are all the time. We're the great Satan.
Yeah.
We're the great Satan.
That's been my only point from the start.
Israel is Great Satan Jr. They should all die. They actually call for the genocide of all the Jews every day.
I know.
That's their fucking governmental platform.
I know.
Free Palestine. Palestine was free. Palestine was a country of its own since 2005. But they chose any investment or whatever. They chose to put that money into terrorism, into fighting, into trying to destroy Israel instead of improving their country.
Yeah, if Yasser Arafat
developing an economy that actually could support the people that live there, instead of that, and then because of that, they were constantly dependent on Israel to supply their electricity, food, water, whatever, and suckling on the teeth when they were getting tons of money being put in. So what did they put that money to good use? Didn't they? They parachuted in on concerts, and oh god, it's just people that support this shit are crazy. If they would have just stayed in Gaza, none of this shit would be happening right now.
Yeah.
Bombed in the 80s.
Laugh all you want, but that's what started the war.
No, I'm talking about Cool Cat.
Oh, what's he doing?
Looking at Cool Cat's thing. I'm just saying, if you ask the crack addict what heaven would be, it would involve North Korea. It would involve crack.
Yeah. South Korean cheerleaders.
I get it. I'm not about trying to say that they're right. Obviously, I think we're right. I fought and killed for the premise that we're right. Yeah. Quite frankly.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying that.
What if we weren't right?
I talked to a lot of people.
What if we weren't right? What if we were the evil ones? You were not evil because you were a soldier doing your duty as ordered to do. You had no part of the decision making. You're basically a tool. Which I've always said.
Just following orders, though, is not a good enough excuse.
Which I've always said you're kind of a tool.
Thanks. I'm not sure that following orders is a good enough excuse, in my opinion.
Well, armies have to follow orders. They don't have any choice. It's the ones that go.
I'm ordered to mow down a bunch of little kids and girls and women.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Hopefully, our command wouldn't order you to do that.
Well, that's why you had the conscientious object.
Commands have done that.
Guys have done that, but I don't think that came down from up on high. Oh yeah, mow down all the women and
look at Vietnam.
Well, Vietnam,
all the women, men and women and all the children in that village because why? Why would you waste your ammo?
No, it happened in Vietnam.
If you want, I know what happened because the sergeants, platooniers, whatever, they went off the edge. They went off, they saw enough of their friends and
lieutenants, captains
dying, and they went
Captain
crazy. But I fail to believe that it was the actual orchestrated movement by our government to murder all the children in a particular area. No, you know what I mean? It was them doing it on an individual basis, not. But the difference is this other side, they actually encourage them to murder women and children because when their school books, by the way, and this is from years ago, but they actually produced school books from Palestine where they were teaching the kids that the Israelis are not related to them, which they fucking are, by the way, the 12 tribes of Egypt, but that they were actually descendants of pigs, that they were actually pigs.
Yeah.
And they that's where they came from. And they didn't deserve to live. And actually teaching that to their children in the classrooms. There is a difference between us and them, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the record, though, the Quran is against the killing of women and children. I thought so.
Well, sure, unless there's an.
So the ones that are calling for it, are wrong, based on the Quran.
Well, of course, yeah.
That's what I was trying to say about the
no,
Quran.
the basic precepts of the Quran are peaceful. Actually, it's based on the Old Testament. You know, it
Yeah.
is. You know,
That's what I
It's
said. You bit
actually
my head
no,
off.
I know, but unfortunately, what's been added to it, there are passages. He took that, and he created a manifesto basically, and that's how they spread. So
Muhammad.
yeah, Muhammad did.
Muhammad
Yeah.
had the Quran written.
Muhammad created the Quran.
Right.
Right.
Because
The Quran is
according
against the killing of women and children
Right.
and non-combatants.
Right.
So he would never endorse suicide bombings. He wouldn't.
well,
No,
and
He would.
here's
that's not exactly right. An imam can actually call an intifada, and an intifada can actually be a genocide of an entire people. I mean, they could do there's an opening there. They could do whatever they want, whatever was necessary, and they actually. I mean, don't get me wrong. Christians were doing the same thing almost in Europe. You know, you're either Christian or you're dead. You know, I mean, and that was and that's they did the same thing for a period of time. You know, but then what they found what worked better was they just folded in God's like Bridget, by the way, was in the Bible at one point, and that was originally Brigitte, which was a god of the wells, the well springs. You know, you would pray to her to make sure your well didn't go dry, and she was a very popular god in this one region that they were trying to bring into the fold basically, and rather than say you're Christian or you die, they canonized her. They made her a saint, Saint Bridget. That's where that comes from. She was originally a Druid. Was it Druidic or was she Celtic? I think maybe Celtic. But
yeah, I think it was
but they
Celtic.
said we're all the children of God, and she's a saint, and and the people, it was much more palatable to these people who were actually thinking of her as a god, because they had major gods and minor gods. Okay, she was a saint. They just call it something different. We're good with that. I mean, that helped, and it's but there was a lot of cases of that, versus murdering them all, or join us, whatever, and fight
Yeah,
with
the
us.
only
Because
time
if you die, you're gonna be rewarded in the
yeah,
afterlife.
the only time that things got really bad is we talked about earlier, the Spanish Inquisition, but that was after they finally had pushed all the uh, Muslims out of Spain, the Moors. Once they defeated them and got them out of Spain, a lot of people, when they were under Moorish rule or Islamic rule, a lot of people that converted or went along with it or something like that. So when they got them out, King of Spain says we got to have a way to make sure these aren't collaborators with those other people. And that's sort of what the Spanish Inquisition was supposed to have been about. There again, it was there was a subversion of its intent and purpose. And that's where they,
Okay. Well,
just
I don't know what to say. I'm reading verses right now from the Quran, and the Quran
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot of
very
beautiful verses.
adamantly,
yeah,
it quite frankly, straight up says the first caliph Abu Bakr instructed his army not to kill women, children, or the infirm. The Prophet Muhammad prohibited killing of women and children in warfare. According to this, now you guys know better, and that's fine. But according to this, that is not the case.
Well,
People
here's
are saying that he killed women and children, and I'm going, well, show me the proof of that.
well, there is a story in history. I cannot remember the name of the city, but the city was under siege, and Muhammad was,
Abrogation.
was that it? Anyways, he had it surrounded, and they had been there for 6 months. It was a long siege, and finally, the leader of this city that was surrounded, sued for peace. Wanted to have peace, and so Muhammad says, "Yeah," he says, "if you'll open your doors at sunrise tomorrow, and you bring out the tribute that you're going to pay to us, we'll stop the siege, make sure you get food and all that." That night, after the leader goes back into a city, Muhammad starts planning the destruction of the city. After they open the gates, they were going to go in and kill them. And one of his leaders says, "Why?" He says, because they are infidels and we do not have to honor because we are not, they're not part of the righteous like we are. So that's just an example. And they went in and killed everybody.
Well, who's telling that story though?
Well, it's one I read it's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I can't remember. That's the problem.
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just
No, I'm not,
going.
and I'm not saying it is true. I'm just
We're
saying
talking 1,000
that's
years
an
ago,
example
right?
that
Or
we hear.
2,000 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. But there's been historians that have written stuff from that. And the thing about Islam is yeah, it's based off the Old Testament and the New Testament. They respected, they looked at Jesus as a prophet,
Right.
and
He wasn't the son of God. He was he was a prophet.
he was a prophet. And
Prophet,
Mary,
yeah.
his mother, is very revered in Islam because she's the mother of the I don't know if they call him the great prophet, but of the prophet Jesus.
Okay. I'm not saying he was a guy. I'm not the I'm not the Mohammed
Yeah,
cheerleader over here, fellas.
yeah.
I don't like defending Trump. I don't like defending. I don't like defending Muhammad. I don't like defending anyone, historical
Well, no,
figures
you
in
bring up some
general.
good points. You're doing what you're best at that we all know and love you for, playing the devil's advocate.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm saying is
and
I've
there's
read
nothing
part of the
wrong with that.
Quran.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in a tent for hours at a time, and I'm like, okay, I'm in these clowns' country. Let's read up what they're talking about. And as far as I could find in the Quran, I don't find, and I never found it. Now I didn't read the whole damn
well,
thing 15 times or whatever. I'm not claiming to be a scholar of the Quran or whatever. I'm just saying I read it, and I don't find all these passages where you
Whether
guys
you
are
find
telling
it
me
or
that
not,
it says to murder everybody.
whether you find it or not, I mean, Muhammad did lead a military campaign to conquest of Mecca. He didn't create Mecca. Mecca wasn't created by the Muslim religion.
Okay,
I'm looking right at it
that's
here.
fair.
AD 630.
Okay.
So where in the Quran does it say that he should do that? Why did he even take Mecca? Why didn't he just leave them alone and let them live in peace?
I don't know. Why did we
Well,
mount the crusades? Why did
money, position, and power? That was the power in the region at the
potentially?
time.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
8
Why
years
did the
they fought,
Babylonians take
they fought
Jerusalem?
them
Why
to
did
8 years they fought him to a standstill, and then he broke a truce after leading an army of 10,000 Muslim converts to Mecca because he went. Could you not chew so loudly into the microphone? Somebody, whoever's doing that.
who?
I don't know. I'm hearing it though.
I literally just put one in my mouth. I don't think it was me. Maybe.
But anyway,
that's probably the story I was thinking of, Mecca.
well, that's how it became the center of their religion.
Right.
For the conquest, because you had polytheistic people living there. They were
Right.
the Qurayish, Quraysh tribe. They controlled Mecca. They controlled Mecca. They created Mecca.
Also,
Their city.
with Islam, part of the problem was after Muhammad died, there were certain groups that felt that the imams or leaders of Islam, some of them say it went to his brothers, and this is where you get the Sunnis and the
Shiites.
Shiite, yeah, because and I can't remember which is which. I think it's the Sunnis believe that Muhammad's son was the next leader of Islam rather than Muhammad's brothers, although they'd been with him and knew it more. That's why he ended up with 3 or 4 different groups. And each one of them, and some of them, the Imam has the powers under the religion to change whatever needs to be changed or do whatever needs to be done. And like I said, I don't know if that's Sunni, Shiite. There was 2 others, but they've all been killed off.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I mean, the Muslims created a huge empire that conquered. That's how the Turkish Ottoman Empire came into existence. vast areas of land and vast
Yeah.
areas of gold and this and that under a religious flag. Whereas, like, say the Romans, they did it for the imperial, not because of their gods. They did it. They did it. I mean, not. I don't know that it's any better, but they conquered lands to bring them together under one empire. It had nothing to do with the gods. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they ran they conquered Judea, but they didn't make them not practice their religion. You know, they were still, you know, I mean, there was an uprising by the Jews a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Barabbas
Yeah, and they got the shit
and
kicked
the
out.
Maccabee.
Yeah, and then that's when who was it? Very famous Roman emperor later on. He to shame the Jews, he renamed Judea Palestine.
Palestine.
Yeah, but the original Palestinians were Jews. Yeah, that whole area. I mean, there were other races and people living there, but
Yeah.
by and large, it was Jewish. That and Canaan and that whole area. So again, interesting stuff. But
Yeah.
that's
Were the Jews or Israelites?
no such thing as an actual Palestinian, really, because, huh? Israelites? I don't know. You
Were they
call them-
Jews or Israelites?
Well, they were
I'm
Jews
curious.
because
Yeah.
Jews is from Judea. They were actually people from Judea.
Yeah, and Judea was the largest of the Jewish, because when they settled Israel originally, it was divided up amongst the 12 tribes, and then they all kind of merged. The only one is different. You had at one time you had Judea, which was southern Israel, well, the mid to the southern. Then you had a small enclave that was actually still called Israel. That came when the not Byzantine, it might have been the Persians.
Ottoman?
I can't remember. No, it was
I'm guessing.
anyway. Let's say the Persian. I can't remember the name. They took them into slavery.
Babylonian?
And Babylonian, yeah, the Babylonians defeated Judea, and Israel just
Yeah, in about
surrendered peacefully.
10, in
And
about 10 minutes.
yeah, and the ones from Israel were later known as the Samaritans. But Judah was one of the sons of Israel, or Isaac.
What happened to the Israelis? No, because the Israelis are the ones that are prominent in the Old Testament.
Well, the Israelis
When did they
are
start
the
becoming
Jews.
the Jews?
Yeah, the Israelis.
Well, they
and
weren't
the
the Jews,
Israelites
but they
are
weren't
the
all
same.
Judeans.
Israelites were people that lived in an area called Israel. I mean, that's all I know. You know.
Israel was the country. Jewish was the religion.
Yeah, but here.
The Israelites were a large group, weren't they? They were the ones that ran around.
12 tribes, and they under Moses, they moved to and took over the land that was promised to them by God, which is what currently is Israel. The country of Israel right now is the same country that Judea was.
All right,
The
I'm going
Romans
to read. I'm going to read it because you're hitting it all over the place, and we're all over the place. I said this earlier. I just did a search. History of the word Jew. The term Jew originates from the ancient kingdom of Judah. One of the, which is what I said earlier. Two Israelite kingdoms that split after the death of King Solomon. The kingdom's Hebrew name was it starts with a Y, but it's Judah. And the term Jew is derived from this name. The kingdom of Judah was centered in Jerusalem and existed for a period of about 200 years. So that's where that comes from.
Okay. I knew there was a split, but I couldn't remember what it was about. It's when Solomon died. So
yeah.
Well, there are several tribes, and only one of the tribes was the Judean tribe, right?
They, as a country, they merged together.
Well, there was one of the two Israelite kingdoms. There's basically the same people living in two different kingdoms. It's like Floridians and people from Louisiana. I mean, you know what I mean? They're basically the same people, but they had different.
It's like people from the Panhandle of Florida and the people
had different kings. You know, basically, which is what happened a lot back then. But the word Jew comes from.
That's interesting. But I thought Judea was one of the tribes, and then so the other 11 tribes would not be Jews; they would be whoever.
No, they were all Jews because they were all related because they the children of they were all the ancestors of Abraham.
All
I thought
brings,
Abraham was an Israelite.
No,
Yeah.
Israelite hadn't been created back then.
all brings to mind
Oh.
the story from the life of Brian.
Yeah.
Ah,
The People's Front of
that's
Judea
interesting.
and the Judean People's Front.
Yeah.
Yeah. The GM People's Front. Starbelly Sneetches versus the non-Starbelly Sneetches.
Yeah.
Most popular front of Judea. Oh, he's
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the part that always, it's like there's a disconnect there for me. I was always like, oh, wait a minute, because only one of the tribes of Israel, the Israelites, was the Judeans, and then they're the Judeans, they're the Jews.
Judah was a region.
It-
There was people. Yeah, there was all kinds of people living there. But there were
Yeah.
well, there were 12 tribes of Israel actually, 12 children.
Yeah.
And who
They're all
came
the-
before Abraham
They're all
then?
descendants of these 12. Huh? Abraham was the.
I mean, there had to have been somebody before Abraham.
Noah.
You know, he didn't invent the Israelis, that Israelites. They were called the Israelites in the Bible, right? And once they founded
They didn't
Israel,
become the Israelites
well, they
until
found their own country. They called it Israel, right?
that was the time. But that was
Okay,
Moses.
in the Bible, Abraham's father was Terah. He was
Terah.
descendant of Shem, Noah's son.
Right.
So that's where Abraham.
Shem,
came.
Ham, and Japheth.
Yeah.
So
And then-
where did Noah live?
On a
Was
boat.
he a Jew? No,
apparently-
was Noah a Jew? Apparently not, right? Because there's no such thing before Abraham, right?
They didn't use the word Jew. I don't even know what it means. It's the same people. They just
They're the same
we're
race of
discussing
people.
where the word Jew came from, but they're still the same tribes of people.
Yeah. Abraham, when Abraham had Isaac, he had two children. He had one with his Egyptian handmaiden, and his name was Ishmael. That's where the Arabs come from.
Call me Ishmael.
They're the children of Ishmael. Isaac had two sons, and one of them tricked when Isaac got old, and he was going to bless his oldest son. They were twins, and he was going to bless the oldest one, and the oldest one had hairier hands than the youngest one. They're like a couple of minutes apart. But he fooled him because he couldn't see, and he put his hand out there with. This is the biblical story of it. But anyways, he blessed him and gave him the blessing, and of course, the other son went wherever. But Isaac was he was the grandfather of 12 different children from the son that he blessed, and that's where they follow the lineage down, all the way down.
Isaac was born in Canaan.
Yeah,
Looking
Canaan.
at this here, and his children's
So the
name-
Canaanite.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So again, same tribes of people. Children were Jacob and Esau.
Jacob changes his name to God tells him to change his name to Israel, and he was the father of he had 12 children, and they're the ones that ended up in Egypt eventually, and then 500 years later, whatever it was, Moses comes along, sees the burning bush, says, we got to go, let our people go. And
Right, because all the Jews weren't in Egypt, right? There were still Jews elsewhere.
The 12 tribes,
Right.
the 12 brothers were the beginning. Jacob's children, he had 12 sons, and they moved.
Here, I got it right in front of me. Jacob, a central figure in the Old Testament, had 12 sons who went on to be the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin, and Dan. Dan.
Good old Dan. Not to be confused with Bob.
And there was a famine in Canaan, and they had sold the other 11 brothers sold Joseph into slavery to Egyptians, and so, but he
had a
was
multicolored coat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The whole coat and everything. So,
Technicolor
but
Dreamcoat.
Technicolor Dreamcoat, yeah. But he became an advisor to the Pharaoh, and
Right.
they came. The brothers came from Canaan into Egypt to ask for grain because they had a famine in Canaan, and they did not realize the advisor to the Pharaoh was their
Yeah.
brother Joseph.
Yeah, I went to Sunday school. I remember this part.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And then
But
they
those
didn't
12
recognize their brother, and then they
Right,
freaked out when they
those
recognized him.
right,
Yeah.
and those
And
12
Mike,
brothers.
Mike, this is exactly what I said. The Romans gave the name of the area Palestine. There are no Palestinian people, as I actually said that. The Jews were already living
Yeah.
there,
Around Judea and Sumeria,
Judah,
which
and, yeah.
Right.
in Sumeria was old Israel when the two split after Solomon died. So
Oh, and I agree with all that, by the way, the whole Palestinian thing. Go ahead, Mark.
Palestine, wasn't that originally formed in the 80s,
The what?
the 1980s?
What was?
what?
Palestine.
No. Well,
Palestine.
No, the region was called Palestine for like 2,000 years.
yeah, it changed in 1947 when Israel became
Country
a
again.
nation. Yeah, when the Jews went to after World War II and the whole Nazi concentration camp, all that stuff. My mind went blank of what that was
Well,
called.
what they did was they finally allowed access because the Brits were actually blocking the Jews from escaping persecution. They wanted to escape and go there. I mean, a lot of them successfully made it to the United States.
Yeah.
God for them. But they wanted to go back to and they weren't allowed. And a lot of those people that weren't allowed back into the Palestine were murdered. You know,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah, a lot of the Germans weren't. The Germans weren't the only ones that were anti-Semitic. By the way,
no.
all of Europe was basically anti-Semitic. Quite frankly,
Yeah, English.
Quite frankly, nobody liked the Jews. Quite frankly,
Yeah,
because
they felt and that was the thing about what Hitler did in the. Oh, my mind just went blank again. The Holocaust. A lot of it was just to get all the money, the treasure that the Jews had, because they were wealthy.
Right.
They had to hustle because they were looked down upon by everybody.
Well, they were money lenders,
So they became money lenders. So everybody needs to borrow at some point, and Hitler used that against them.
That's what they called Shylocks back then. The word
Shylocks,
yeah, where shyster comes from.
Yeah.
Well, that came from the Shakespeare play.
And they believed they were dishonest, but that was crap. That was because they didn't want to pay back. They didn't want to pay back their loans, But anyway, why don't we? This is getting way too deep.
I think it's time to.
Way too deep.
It's
almost 4 hours.
Is pretty deep.
It's almost 4 hours, for the love of God.
Yeah, my brain is
for long
throbbing.
hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's wave goodbye.
It was a great show, though.
Yeah, I thought so. I have a headache now, but yeah.
I do too.
Yeah,
I had to
Mr.
think too
Kitty,
much.
I agree with that, but I think any religion is a bad thing, and
it is. And
people
that's
that
what I
like to be
do.
anti-Muslim, people are
I don't agree with
anti-Muslim,
that
and I
either.
think that's bad, just as bad. And
but
I don't care. I'll argue with anybody.
That's deflection. What's going on right now is huge anti-Semitism in this country, and it's crazy.
Oh no, I'm not putting it in those terms. I'm saying anti-Semitism is bad. Absolutely, anti-Muslim
For the
is
same
bad
reason.
too. And
For the same reasons.
or anti-Christian,
For the same
whatever. I think it's bad. Yeah,
For the same reasons. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why that's why it has to be stopped.
Yes,
it's bad across
exactly.
the board.
Right.
I agree with you.
Well, saying all Muslims are bad
Now
people.
it's time to say goodbye to Bill and all his friends.
Yeah,
No, it's fine.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
It's the real one.
Time to say goodbye to Bill and all the tribe. Thank you all for coming, and we hope you will subscribe. You're all invited back next week to watch another show. We're all too
I'm
drunk
sure
and
there's a
tired, so
difference.
we're gonna have to go.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
This has been a Bill Ways presentation.